Correct.
Yeah. So I'll just leave that on. And then when you add them, they'll be on.
You know, baby Jules, you're correct. However, the interesting thing is that we talk less, I figured out, when David's in studio than we do when he's not in studio.
Well, also,
you got headsets?
Yeah. Right
okay.
here.
Well, you'll need them.
Also. Let's see here. Okay, there we go. Also, I'm working on the starting five. So I didn't do it last night. What the hell? You know, this is odd, but
what's the matter?
It's blue.
What's blue?
No, just the screen. So, and I see you, but I don't. This is weird. Huh. Like all I have are you and me. That's weird. So
hit F11.
Got a minute.
Huh, look at that. Hot damn. So much for that pre-production meeting for poll questions.
I was going to say, we're already 0 for 1 on that because we didn't do it yesterday.
Oh, that's why I said that I'm not playing this game where at 7:12 we go, hey, you know, that'd be you know what? Fishing books. That'd be a great poll question.
How about this? What if we decide it every day by 7? That way, whatever's discussed throughout the first hour, we can get a feel for if you guys have a big disagreement or something, and then that's the poll question.
A big disagreement.
Or just you guys.
We have to care enough to have a big disagreement. I walk in, Trent goes, nice to meet you. I go, I feel like I meet you every day.
Yeah. It was weird. Okay, here we go.
He's about as wide as my left eye.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Top of the morning to you. We got over the hump yesterday. How's your week going? How's 2024 going? How the heck are you? We are Miller and Moulton. This is the Florida Sports Network, FloridaSportsNetwork.com. The three of us in the same place at the same time. What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
Is this the first time this has ever happened?
With Trent?
I thought so.
Yeah, I met him 30 or so minutes ago. Of course, I feel like I meet him every day. He's, staring at each other here and Twitch, StreamYard, and what have you. But, yep, shook his hand. Man, he's skinny. God, I forget when you're that young how skinny you can be.
Hey, now you get to chastise me to my face today.
Come on. It's all in good fun.
Oh, of course.
Although
But
my mom has warned me. My mom is like, hey, I like the new guy. Take it easy on the new guy. I go, he's betting the Pistons. Come on now,
By
Mom.
the way, Lakers Magic parlay almost hit last night. Magic lost in OT.
Imagine that, a parlay.
Almost hit. Yep.
Heard that before.
How you doing? I'm minus $3,700, but I am so close.
But they knew I was good.
I am so close.
So Mom likes Trent.
Yes.
Because Trent
Yes.
wears a hat every day.
Yes.
And that is not big on Mom's list.
Right. But, just the hour. See, Bud Elliott can't. We don't get to Bud till usually 8:30-ish. My mother's like, by then you can be showered, brush your hair, and what have you. She totally understands, and she knows he's making $7 a show. So she's cutting him some slack.
Good for her.
Right.
I'm glad to hear that Mom cut somebody some slack around here.
Thank you, David's mom.
So, and by the way, she's never joining the show. She's not calling in. She's not going to join on the Twitch out. Just whatever. Just so you know, that's a non-starter. All right,
Understood.
That's not happening. But she is monitoring all the time. She's an unpaid consultant, is what she is. She's an unpaid consultant who we ignore as much as we ignore the paid consultants. By the way, but
Well, I mean, she did get Bud to take his hat off.
yeah. Well, listen. She's influential. Okay, she's just unpaid. That's all. So how you doing? How's your week going?
Week's going well. This is another week without school for the daughter. So
Unbelievable.
they don't go to school.
Now, some counties in the state are.
Apparently, but not the one that I live in, David. And let's be honest, at this point, I'm a little selfish and I don't care about the other counties. I care about the one I currently reside in that's not in school right now. But
gotcha.
But the funny thing is that this isn't just me. The daughter would much rather be in school with
Of
friends
course.
and
Right.
hanging out. I mean, hanging out with Dad, there's only so much quality time we can spend before she gets sick of me and says, Dad, can I go play on my tablet?
And that's usually about an hour and 20 minutes.
Somewhere around there.
And the day's a lot longer than that. Sure. So, yes, I get it. Well, it's like people who laugh about us, besides the normal reason they laugh about us. But, when we talk about how we don't do a lot together and we look at them and we go, well, how much more time do we have to spend together? I go, we know 95% of what's going on in each other's lives. We talk to one another for 4+ hours every day. And it's not, and during the breaks and what have you. I mean, do we really need to go out and eat together? We did that for the first 20+ years of our relationship. I mean, how much more? I mean, we've been on the road together. We've closed the Clevelander at 4 a.m. I mean,
I will say we're due for a road trip.
Well, now you're talking my language.
We haven't had a road trip in a while. Last time you and I had a road trip when I was lucky enough to tag along with you for Alabama, LSU, Rams, Saints.
Right. Double dip in Louisiana.
Right. Jared Goff was still a Ram.
Right. It
was a while ago.
Ed Orgeron was still the coach of LSU,
right,
I believe.
Right.
Yeah.
Go Tigers. You guys are the Lennon and McCartney of Southwest Florida.
Wait, that means one of us is getting killed.
Not yet.
Come up with another one.
Hey, they had a good run.
No offense.
You're the Keith Richards of the
They
Jags.
did have a good run. It just stopped suddenly. Okay, I mean, just take it easy now.
Can I be McCartney?
I go home and call my wife Yoko. Okay, it'll be a very inside joke, but all right. So we've got a good show lined up for you. Roy Cummings to talk the Bucs. Woo! See if Roy can put lipstick on that pig from last week, Mr. Glass Half Full.
Oh, he'll spin it. He'll just dismiss the game, beat Carolina, and win the division. I mean, come on, you already know the
see.
opening lines.
We'll see. We'll see. Last week was a whoa. And JP Shadrick, part of the Jags radio network, they're in the same situation as the Bucs. Go on the road, beat a division opponent that you should beat, but still go on the road, beat a division opponent, win the division. Get a home playoff game. Lose, and, well, probably going to miss the playoffs. So Roy and JP to join us on the show. You have any problem with all the teams that are announcing, these guys aren't playing?
No, I'm I prefer it that way as opposed to waiting until the weekend for them to decide. This is what did anyone expect when teams have clinched spots and we've gone through how many quarterbacks this year?
Well, the normal number, which is, 60 plus.
Right.
Right.
How can you justify playing anyone this weekend that you don't have to play?
Well, I don't think you can. An expression that we like to use is, how as a coach are you going to explain this at the post-game presser?
And even more so, screw the post-game presser. How are you going to explain it to your boss? How are you going to sit in front of the owner and say, well, week 18 we thought was really important?
And we have numerous examples both ways, though. We have numerous examples of teams that have rested their guys, and everything's been fine. The teams didn't get dull, if you will. The knife didn't all of a sudden not be able to cut through, the bread. Everything was fine. The playoffs came. They picked up where they left off. We've also had many instances in which a team shuts it down and they can't get back up on the horse when it comes time in the playoffs. They're rusty. They play a bad game. They end up losing at home. We have numerous examples over the last 15 plus years of that happening. We can go with the, Peyton Colts team that was 14-0 and shut it down the final 2 weeks and they couldn't get it going. Lamar's Ravens team, the only other time they were the 1 seed. They shut it down the final week of the year. Then they had the bye week. They came out against Tennessee. They turned it over like 6 times in the divisional game and lost. So then again, we've had teams that have just kept on playing. The most famous one is probably the 07 Giants, because the Patriots were undefeated, final game of the regular season. Coughlin, and it was a meaningless game. The Giants were in. Their seeding was determined. They were a wild card team. They were going on the road to play the NFC South champion, and Coughlin played everybody. And terrific game. Patriots won, capped off the undefeated regular season. Turns out the Giants just kept on keeping on. And we all know what happened a month later. So we've got all the examples. And then, the Patriots were getting ready for the playoffs, and Belichick's resting guys, but he didn't rest Welker. And Welker, untouched in Houston, blows out his knee. So,
and that's the nightmare, right? That's the
Totally.
absolute nightmare.
But that's also the nightmare that's unavoidable in a lot of ways, because Belichick was resting players in that game.
he just
And
didn't
with
rest that
somebody.
guy.
With a 53-man roster and only 47 guys playing, and a couple
Right.
of them are special teams guys, you're left with having to play starters. It's inevitable that you're going to have to play linemen. It is inevitable that you're going to have to play some D-backs. It's inevitable you're going to play a wide receiver or two. You have to have luck, good fortune, whatever it is we want to call it. But there's some of that goes into this.
And, I made sure to mention Welker blew out his knee untouched. It wasn't like he suffered a hit. No, he was caught a ball, was running a pattern, and blew out his knee.
Could have been in practice.
Exactly.
Freak thing.
So that's what we got going on this week. Got a whole bunch of the Rams, they're just they're like throwing darts, and no, he's not playing. Give me another dart. Nope, he's not playing. If there's anybody that you think is good on the Rams, they ain't playing. Sean McVay. And seeding is actually, it's a minor thing. Are they going to be the 6 seed or the 7 seed? But that's the difference between playing the NFC East champion on the road or playing the Lions. We think Detroit's going to be the 3. Dallas is expected to beat Washington and be the 2. But if Green Bay beats the Bears, the Packers are in, they would leapfrog the Rams if the Rams lose to the Niners. And the Rams certainly look as if they're going to field a team that is going to lose to the Niners. Congratulations, Carson Wentz, you're starting. You're not going to be able to hand the ball off to Kieran Williams. You're not going to be able to throw to Kupp or Puka. And by the way, on the other side, we're not going to have Aaron Donald and our best defensive players trying to stop Sam Darnold and whoever's left of the Niners.
Yeah, welcome back to the league, Carson
Exactly.
Wentz.
Right. You're going to feel as if you're behind that Washington offensive line a year ago.
And at the same time, no one feels that it's the wrong move.
No. Because of the injury factor in this game. It is so much unlike the other sports.
Well, and the Rams game isn't completely meaningless because you just brought up the reasons why, but in a meaningless, where the outcome is virtually meaningless for most of these games. It's not what the league wanted. It just
Right. It just happened to be.
Bad draw this year.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of years in which there have been several games that matter the last game of the season. It doesn't matter as much this year.
Instead, the league almost had what they have in Pittsburgh, Baltimore. You know, the Niners are the one they have nothing to play for. The Rams were fortunate to get by the Giants last week. The Rams nearly had to play this game with needing to win to get in. That's Pittsburgh at Baltimore. Baltimore's mailing it in. Steelers are like, all hands on deck, baby. We need a win and some help.
And all that means is that the odds are Buffalo will have to win to get in.
Boy, that would be something. You could be the 2, and you could be golfing.
Have we ever seen that big of a discrepancy in week 17 or 18?
Well, there's
That's
been
crazy.
plenty of wins and you're in, lose
Right.
and you're out, but I don't know if it's ever been win and you're the 2, lose and you're out. So, I mean, this is only the 3rd year that we've had, 7 teams make it in each side, but, we could look it up and see if anybody was ever in a situation where, win and you're the 2, lose and you're out when 6 teams made it.
But that is wild.
And fitting that it's the Bills, too. The roller coaster that is Josh Allen. Here we are. The high is a 2 seed, and you could be hosting dang near everybody. And the low is, like David said, you're golfing.
Well, was it Dalton Miller yesterday who said to us, so you're picking teams in the AFC, and if we take the Ravens off the table, who's your number 2? He said the Browns, and we were like, the Bills? That's if they make it.
If they make it.
So Miller and Moulton together in the same place. Well, this show is definitely going to go off the rails.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Paul, I'm here to broadcast the game, actually, but I do have to schedule my cancer stuff. And good luck with your checkup.
You know, for what it's worth, the bonus hour yesterday got a lot of downloads because it was Pat Chambers.
Well, and they tweeted it out.
Did they? Nice.
Yeah, every now and then they. Are you sure that's why I got the downloads?
No, not totally.
Wow, nothing happened today. Oh, is today the Immaculate Reception? 76? Is that the year?
Which one?
Steelers beat the Raiders.
No.
Immaculate Reception, 70. I don't know what year. That's what I'm trying to say. What year
It was 72.
It was 72. Okay, 76.
I thought it happened in December. I thought it was last
You're
week.
right. This was
December
another
23rd,
episode.
1972.
Okay, that's fine. They happen to play once in a while for it.
So I think because of the 17 game schedule, without even winning a playoff game, this will be the latest Detroit's ever played in the Super Bowl era. Like the latest they've gone. Definitely since the 91 year. You know what I mean? Like
Well,
like
of course they didn't win a playoff game.
Right. But yeah, because it's all pushed back. It's like this is the longest the latest in the year, the earliest.
Well, and in the 91 season, the Super Bowl was in January because it was in Minneapolis, and I was there, and I'm almost positive it was at the very end of January. So they probably played that playoff game mid-January when they lost to Washington.
Got crushed. Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network.
21 minutes past the hour, top of the morning to you. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. The starting five. If you missed anything, and I mean, I hope you did. I mean, I hope you're not just sitting around on your phone all damn day. I mean, I hope you missed stuff. I hope the starting five, serves a purpose.
Does for me.
You get to chill out.
Figure out what I missed from the night before.
So that's coming up in about 15 minutes time. Do we think the favorites are going to win this week? Because a lot of times they do. You know, by the end of the year, we've got the pretenders and we got the contenders, and the contenders usually beat the pretenders at the end of the year. And we have a lot of situations this week. You know, Tampa Bay, Carolina, Jacksonville, Tennessee, Dallas, Washington, then potentially Eagles, Giants.
To me, I look for the teams that have been playing hard.
Bears, Packers.
Bears, Packers. The Bears have been playing hard. You know, Arizona plays Seattle. Arizona's been playing hard. The Giants, not good,
But hard.
but continue to play hard.
They do. They do.
Talking to one of my acquaintances who's a Giants fan, I said, that was a perfect game for you because he wants them to lose.
Sure.
I go, you were entertained for 3.5 hours. They put forth a really good effort and got the L at the end of the day because that's what really matters right now.
The Eagles apparently are going to scoreboard watch. Remember at the end of the year last year, Dallas did that? You know, Philly was playing, I think it was the Giants, and Dallas was in Washington. And if Philly won, they were going to be the one, and they start taking care of the Giants early, and Dallas pulls everybody. I mean, they started with Dak for like maybe most of the first quarter, and then they were like, oh, wow, Philly's up 2 touchdowns. Everybody off the field. We're mailing this sucker in. So, and the Eagles have all but said they're going to do it again. That if Dallas gets off to a good start, then I'm pulling everybody. Oh, okay. And you're right. At this point, as a Giants fan, I'm like, nah, listen, you got the 5th spot in the draft locked up. Don't win and draft 8th, okay? Come on. What are we doing here? I mean, now that you've taken it this far, don't screw it up. You know, don't win that final game of the year and go all of a sudden, oh, wow, now I can't draft Troy Aikman. I'm stuck with Tony Mandarich. I mean, come on.
Because there are big games on the bottom of the pile, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, yeah.
Washington, New England, Arizona, all 4-12.
Right. I mean, trust me, they're debating it. The Jets haven't beaten the Patriots seemingly since the Clinton administration. It's not that long, but it feels like it. Actually, haven't they lost like 14 in a row, something ridiculous to the Patriots?
Yeah, you're on something there.
And so it's kind of like, hey, do you want to snap the schneid against the Patriots? Do you really want that streak lingering into next year? But then again, if you beat the Patriots, it could cost you like 4 spots in the draft. And Belichick doesn't want to go out a loser in New England, but at the same point, I mean, what are they drafted now? 3rd?
They're 3rd.
Right. Patriots fans kind of like, hey, man, if you've sucked this long, could you do it for 1 more week?
And strength of schedule determines order. Just to get really
right
into this. The difference between Washington's strength of schedule, who's drafting 2, and New England's strength of schedule, who's drafting 3, is 3/1000th of a point. Well, one is a 5.15 strength of schedule, one is a 5.18. So New England's playing the Jets.
Right, not a good team.
Washington's playing Dallas.
Good team.
That could actually flip.
Right. So the Patriots could, with a loss, draft second. Right.
Which is huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
Well, especially since you don't know what the Bears are going to do with Carolina's pick. Are they going to trade it? They're going to keep it. And if they keep it, they could take Marvin Harrison Jr.
I don't think the Bears know what they want to do with
Well,
that.
no. I mean, gut feeling right now, you're the Bears. You got the first pick. They're locked in with the first pick, by the way.
Yeah, that's done.
Carolina's got the first pick of the draft, and they don't own it. The Bears do. Your gut feeling right now with the way you finished, you're the Bears.
If I'm the Bears,
yeah,
I'm keeping Fields and trading that pick, and I'm setting my franchise up for the foreseeable future. I truly am.
Okay. Now, in an ideal world, do you trade it to, let's just say Washington moves down to 3, and that's who you trade with? I mean, because, do you really want to not be in position to get Harrison?
No, I would love to trade with Washington. I'd trade with New England. I would trade with the Giants. David, I think that the offers...
You'd go down that far. You'd go down to 5.
if
you were the Bears.
if the offer was that exuberant, if someone's making me a Herschel Walker type trade,
How about if it's? I don't see how you're going to get more than 3 ones. You'll get this year and 2 more. Let's just say that's the offer. It's 3 ones. It's this year you flip, and it's 2 more ones. And maybe I throw in a second rounder or whatever this year, next year, whatever.
okay. And I'm not joking. This is where I'm
Right.
playing poker with you. I'm just going to stand there and stare at you right
Okay,
now.
well then that's
Because-
fine.
Because I think someone for Caleb Williams is going to make a ridiculous offer.
Okay, but for argument's
Yes,
sake,
I
for
would. I
discussion,
would move to 5.
for that. So say it's 3 ones and a 2, you'd move down to 5. You'd risk losing Harrison, if you will. I mean, you're still going to get a very good player, maybe best offensive lineman in the draft, which the Bears could certainly use. I mean, who knows? A shutdown corner. You're going to get a very good player, but you're not going to get one of the so-called elite quarterbacks prospects, and you're likely not going to get Harrison.
But you're loading up for
Oh yeah,
the future too. 'cause
totally.
You're getting those.
And you're pretty good now with the way you finished the year. I mean, we're all writing the storylines for 2024 with the Bears. If the Bears go into Green Bay and beat the Packers and knock them out of the playoffs, you do know that's the 2022 Lions all over again.
Absolutely. And I think they're going to.
Here's the key, though. I think you guys are a little lower on Caleb Williams than I am, which whatever. What do I know? I just think he's tailor-made for how the league is playing right now. And like Justin Fields can run around. Caleb Williams can run around and throw it.
I've got you. I understand. And if I'm wrong, I can live with that. But I can go through draft picks for 30 years of first overalls that did not live up to the hype, and how much better he's going to have to be than Fields to justify that. And now what are you going to get for Fields?
A second rounder.
No. You'll get more than that. If somebody wants him, remember, if somebody wants him, they view him as their starting quarterback. And not only do they want him, they know when they trade for him, they're going to have to pay him. Because he's entering year 4. In theory, they're going to trade for him, pick up his 5th-year option. So at the very least, they're trading for the starter for 2 years, but they're likely trading for Fields, and they're going to sign him. And he's their guy for the rest of the decade is what they're thinking. Like, you don't think you get
That's
a
a good
first-round pick from Atlanta
Well, I
for
think you
Fields?
could. Yeah, you definitely
Could.
Yeah.
I'd be stunned.
I just don't. How many teams do you think want Fields?
Well, it only takes one.
True.
The question becomes, is the 12th pick of the draft worth it to the Bears? Because say it is Atlanta. And let's just say Atlanta loses to New Orleans, so they finish 7-10. They're probably drafting around 12th.
Right.
Is that enough? Is that enough for you to trade Fields?
I would.
I mean, you have 3 first-round picks.
Yeah.
You got Carolina's, yours, and now Atlanta's.
See, I would, but again, that's the route I would take because I'm high on Caleb
Right.
Williams.
You're all in on Williams. And I will say, prospects get compared to former players or current players. This is the first guy that I have heard compared to Mahomes.
Who they passed on for Mitchell Trubisky.
For Trubisky.
And I think the Bears are going to take Caleb Williams. I do. I think they're going to be in the situation where they feel that they can't pass up on another Mahomes. I wouldn't.
Then you also got to throw in the whole factor with the GM and Fields isn't his guy and
Right.
Eberflus just doing just enough to get next year.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
More than that. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, the league is interesting. I mean, it's outside of the Carolina Panthers, and even they're interesting in a train wreck sort of way.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
No more water?
No, they have, I think they have something to filter out the water. So like there's no spring water, but there's a machine that I think is connected to the water
Gotcha.
and it filters it out. It's in the other break room. Mr. Boutte, you are just look at that. There's 43 comments in 6 minutes there. You're nuts. Good morning. How much of your Drake May bias is because he went to the same school as Trubisky? Remember, different system, different coaching.
I just don't think. Yeah, I don't know. If the Bears take a quarterback, it's Williams or nothing, right? Or do you think they would maybe even go?
Listen, Baker went one when the Browns took
That's
Baker.
right.
That was
That wasn't
not
supposed to
most
be.
teams would not have taken Baker. They would have taken Darnold or somebody else.
That's aged well.
But Dorsey, you know, who was handling things for the Browns, was like, no, that's my guy. He also that year didn't he take the corner 4 from Ohio State?
Yeah.
And most people were like, whoa, now that's aged well. He's a good player. So did you see that story about the so you know that everybody's got all their stuff now on iPads or whatever.
You're talking about the video?
And that they think that Ohio State is the school that like somebody got access to the main system and everybody's using the same thing. And so if you get access into that, in theory, you get access to everybody's stuff. And so there are schools the last month of the season that word got out that there was a breach and teams have just stopped using it. They've stopped sending things to everybody on their iPads and all that. They've just so crazy. We're going to go back to playbooks.
Huh.
That'd be awesome.
I actually think it would.
Then Matt Patricia's little pencil will actually work on something. It won't just be laminated plastic.
I keep waiting for Cash to make a comeback. I think I'm going to be the last one. Going to be reading my newspaper with cash in my fat wallet.
I have a lot of cash on me right now because of Christmas, and places just don't take cash. Every chance I get, I use it.
All right,
But I
I'm
always have
just
to
curious.
ask.
What in your estimation is you have a lot of cash on you?
Yeah.
Is more or less than $100?
More.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
On you right now.
Yes.
Well, you're coming in third today, David.
No,
Are you
I'm
sick
traveling
today?
though, so I brought money with me because I'm traveling.
Oh, I'm low man with $62.
You are. You are.
That's just because I had to leave after paying for golf yesterday and not getting my money back because I should be getting paid on Friday.
Okay.
I had to bail right after yesterday. I'm pretty sure we won money.
We're going to get whacked on our way out. We're going to get Nancy Kerrigan on our way out of the studio.
For $200?
I was going to say.
Knock yourself out.
Hey, to me, that's $1,000.
It's true. At $7 a show, it really is.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour. Roy Cummings will join us 1 hour from now. JP Shadrick 2 hours from now on this Thursday, first Thursday of 2024, edition of Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network. The three of us in the same location.
For the first time ever.
Right, with Trent.
Well, the
Right.
three of us.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
the two of us.
Right. Oh, I got it. Yeah. It's just emphasizing with Trent.
Well, I would
That's
hope
all.
by now they would know you and I have been together before.
Well, I don't know. Last year and a half, we've just decided we're going to, be together but apart. It's like an arranged marriage.
Or a really good long distance relationship. This is actually,
Things were starting to crumble. We just need a little space.
Right.
Yes.
I'm going to move to Jacksonville.
Right.
You hold it down here.
And morale picked up, actually. Morale's really good on the show. I'll bet Mark goes home, says to his wife, we should have done this a long time ago. All right. I could have done this show from home the whole time. All right. Moulton dragged me into the damn studio. Now that he left, I can go into the studio. It's great. It's perfect. Honey, you and I should try it. How about you go? Never mind. Time now for
The Starting Five. 5 stories you need to know. It's the Starting Five on Miller and Moulton. Here's number 1.
there's a lot of quarterbacks that are not going to play this week by choice, not because of injury. Brock Purdy, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes, Matthew Stafford, Joe Flacco. That's just to begin. That's now. Give it a couple days. We'll say there are some quarterbacks that have appeared suddenly on an injury report. Josh Allen appeared on an injury report yesterday. Now, everyone expects him to play, but the Bills did have to acknowledge he's got a neck injury. He did suffer a hard hit midway through the game last week. Harder than usual. Boy, he takes a beating. With as often as he runs, and he doesn't dodge.
Well, he runs
for contact.
like a full pack.
Yeah.
He really does. He's what do they call it on that Good Morning Football show? Angry runs they do. He is, for a quarterback, he has a few angry runs.
The Rams are not playing Kieran Williams, Cooper Kupp, Puka, Aaron Donald. But there are going to be 46, 47 guys wearing Rams jerseys and helmets and shoulder pads against the Niners. Remember, the Ravens, Chiefs, Browns, and Niners have clinched their seeding. Baltimore's the 1. San Francisco's the 1. The Chiefs are the 3. The Browns are the 5.
If you've clinched your seating, there's no reason to play anybody, right?
No.
Because all you could do at that point is lose and help your draft position.
5 of the 7 NFC spots have been determined. 4 of the 7 AFC spots have been determined. Now, Some are, if somebody's obviously going to win the South. It's going to be either Tampa Bay if they beat Carolina, or it's going to be the winner of Atlanta, New Orleans. But officially, the South has not been determined yet. In the AFC, obviously someone's going to win the South. If Jacksonville beats Tennessee, it'll be Jacksonville. If not, it'll be the winner of the Saturday night game between Houston and Indianapolis. But officially, we do not have a representative from the South. South will get in the AFC 2 playoff spots if Jacksonville beats Tennessee, because the winner then of Houston, Indianapolis Saturday night, that is a play-in game. The winner will make the playoffs. That is assured. And the Buffalo-Miami game has the most at stake. Winner is the 2 seed. Dolphins, if they lose, will be the 6. Bills, if they lose, could be the 6, the 7, or out. Dallas has to beat Washington to win the East in the NFC. College football. Remember KJ Jefferson? Arkansas quarterback?
Big. He's big.
He is. And, he's a good runner, inconsistent passer, played really well in beating the Gators in early November in the Swamp. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. He's decided, I'm going to spend it with Gus Malzahn in Orlando at UCF. He's a perfect quarterback for Gus's offense. Perfect. I mean, there are more, Gabriel's a better thrower than Jefferson, not the runner that Jefferson is. Gus likes to run his quarterbacks. KJ Jefferson is a really good fit for a Gus Malzahn offense. He's got 1 year of eligibility left. If you care to guess how many Alabama players have entered the portal now that they've lost?
16.
Lower.
I'd go with 11.
Lower, actually. It's 9 right now. I know, still got another week. But 9 Alabama players have entered the portal, including the center, Seth McLaughlin.
That poor guy.
Did he have a choice?
Yeah. I mean, they would have kept him. I don't think he would have been their starting center next year.
I don't think he should be.
Well,
I think guard's a good position for him.
I'm with you. Snapping seems to be a problem, and I don't know about you, but that seems to be a requirement of a center.
A top requirement.
Was
by
it
the
a
way.
problem all year?
Yes.
Okay.
If you remember, the play before 4th and 31 against Auburn was a bad snap that Milroe had. Well, actually, the second play before that one was a bad snap that Milroe had to run all the way back to the 26 and fall on. Yeah, snapping has been a problem. But the other thing I felt badly about is, he was going up against a dude, too. I mean, on that final play, the reason it got stuffed, it wasn't just that the snap was poor and Milroe had to take his eye off of what the play was. But, the guy he was blocking just pushed him aside. And
they blitzed up the middle as well.
Right.
I mean, really worked out well for that quarterback sneak with a blitz up the middle.
Bama's going to have some work to do on their offensive line because J.C. Latham has declared for the draft. He's expected to be a first-round pick, probably in the bottom third of the first round, but still a first-round pick. Clemson running back Will Shipley, good player, versatile. He is also declared for the draft. NBA, the Lakers, ever since they hoisted that banner, I am so glad this is happening to them. And I love LeBron. I do. Just as long as he doesn't talk politics. I love LeBron, but I'm so glad they've lost 9 of 12. Put the in-season tournament banner up in the rafters in the forum. I hope you guys miss everything. Hope you're in the lottery. They've lost 9 of 12. Heat beat them in L.A. last night, 110-96. Lakers are now below 500.
If they decided today, they hold a presser, and they say, we didn't want this banner up. The league forced us. We're taking it down.
That'd be universal applause. Come on.
You'd be on board.
Not just me.
I'm asking you.
I mean, we've both spent time in Los Angeles. That's the team in Los Angeles. That's an NFL team out there. They are the number 1 team in the city. An in-season tournament banner? The number 2 team in Los Angeles is USC football. They don't even get excited when they go to the Rose Bowl. They're only excited at the very least if they win the Rose Bowl. Heat, by the way, are 20-14. They're the 4 seed. You know who's playing really well this year? The guy they
Jaquez.
were talking about trading the whole offseason.
Jaime Jaquez, product of UCLA.
That's not who I was thinking of, but he has been playing well. Okay. I was thinking of Tyler Hero.
Yeah, I thought
who they were talking about trading, for Dame the whole offseason, and he's played really well this year. Remember, he took everything that was Heat and scrubbed it off his social media there for a while. He was pouting. I love when players do that. I'm so mad at you. I'm not part of this team anymore. Hey, get my agent on the phone. I'm making $20 million this year, right? Yeah, but I'm angry. Hurt my feelings.
I make $20 million no matter where they trade me, right?
Right.
Okay, I'll scrub my social media.
One of the nominations for first half of the season game of the year was last night in Sacramento. Magic and the Kings, double overtime affair. Kings win it 138-135. Magic have lost 8 of 11. And they didn't even hoist an in-season tournament banner. Tough night for the favorites in the Western Conference last night. Hawks beat OKC 141-138.
Yep.
In regulation.
Right. There's a few that got to 140 last night.
Indiana's 4-1 against the Bucs this year. They beat Milwaukee 142-130 in regulation. And look out for the Pelicans. Zion's playing his way into shape, and he's playing every day. They're not bad when that starts to happen. They've won 4 in a row. They went into Minnesota, beat the T-Wolves last night, 117-106. College hoops, the ranked teams lost last night. Welcome to the College Basketball Conference Tournament part of the show. Clemson goes on the road in the ACC. Why did we not load up on the Canes? What were we asleep at the switch yesterday? Come on. We love the Canes.
And they were down 6 at the half, scored 60 in the second half.
I mean,
60.
What are they, the Hawks? What are they, the Indiana Pacers with Halliburton? Miami 60-41 in the second half. They knock off 16th ranked Clemson 95-82. Both teams are 11-2. You know who's had a couple of good wins this year? Seton Hall. Remember they whacked UConn right before Christmas? They went to Providence and beat the Friars last night. That's a good win. That's a good win. That's a rowdy place. 61-57 for the Pirates. Florida State with an ACC win last night at home. They beat Georgia Tech 82-71. Couple of NHL games. So much for the Caps not losing this year on back-to-back nights. New Jersey beat them 6-3. And Toronto in overtime edged Anaheim 2-1. Mark, who do you think the PGA Tour voted as their player of the year?
Well, either Tiger or Rory.
I did not see you going there, but that's outstanding. No, it was somebody else. But here, well, how about we do the blind resume? One guy wins 4 times, including a major. One guy wins 2 times, no majors, but he didn't miss a cut all year.
Did either guy leave for Live Golf?
The guy with 4 wins and a major.
I'll take the guy with 2 wins who made all the cuts as player of the year.
Shockingly, Mark, that's who they voted. Scotty Scheffler, for the second year in a row, wins player of the year. He's the first player since Tiger Woods to win back-to-back player of the year awards. Tiger won 3 in a row, 05, 06, and 07. Yeah, Rahm, 4 wins and a major.
Right.
Not player of the year on the PGA Tour.
He's not on the PGA Tour anymore, so he probably was ineligible for the vote.
No, he was eligible for the vote, actually.
But he was ineligible for the vote.
Well, yeah. He was left off of a lot of ballots, I think. Yeah. Eric Cole wins Rookie of the Year, a 35-year-old rookie. He's the guy I think who finished second, lost in the playoff of the Honda last year. 35-year-old Rookie of the Year. He's the oldest Rookie of the Year in 20 years on the PGA Tour. So 9 minutes before the hour, that was
the Starting 5 every weekday morning at this time on Miller and Moulton.
I'm telling you, I mean, Rahm's not making a big deal of it, but in the past, you didn't get suspended from the PGA Tour until you hit your first tee shot on the LIV. And they're not playing their first event till like March. And in 3 of the first like 4 or 5 tournaments of the year, Rahm's the defending champion, including the tournament that gets underway today, the Century. He's the defending champ.
What could it possibly be?
Look at. They have botched this from a PR standpoint in every way, the PGA Tour.
Mm-hmm.
They thought they were, what happened to the merger? If there was a merger, if there was actually a serious merger going on, then wouldn't you want Jon Rahm to play in as many tournaments as possible before he left for the LIV Tour?
Well, the people, and I can understand when they go, well, we don't want to help promote him. He's leaving us. Well, first off, you guys are about to announce a merger. I mean, he's leaving for how long? I mean, the merger is probably going to allow you to play on both tours here beginning in 2025. So, I mean, what are we? It's really a trial separation for a year. But also, if I'm the sponsors, which we've talked about, they're having trouble with their sponsors right now. They are asking for so much money from their corporate sponsors. I want my defending champion. That's a big deal. When the defending champion doesn't show up the next year, that is really frowned upon on tour. Well, now it's the tour making it so that the defending champion's not showing up for these events. If I'm the sponsor, I'm like, come on, you don't have to suspend him now. Suspend him in March.
Now, who knows if Rahm would have showed up or not? I mean, you have the thought that he would.
Yes, he because of the pressure as being a No,
I'm with you. I just don't know with leaving for LIV if he just said I'm done with the PGA Tour. I've had enough of the way that they do business, and I'm not going to support them. I understand that I'm the defending champion. It makes maybe a bad look on me, but this is my stance against the PGA Tour and what they've been doing.
Rahm, when he left, said, I'm not resigning from the PGA Tour, the DP World Tour. He goes, I want to play worldwide. Miller and Moulton. Thanks so much for being with us. Roy Cummings next hour to talk Tampa Bay Bucs on the Florida Sports Network.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So you got anything here?
I really don't. I have one little thing, but it's
Well, we can save that for the 21.
yeah.
All right. I got a segment here. NFL over-unders.
Okay. There's a bunch of ones on the line, right?
Mm-hmm. But keep track of who's going to, basically have teams. If Vegas is setting this as the bar, how many teams have over the bar, under the bar?
Gotcha.
Yes, Johnny Mac. Yes, Fox News at the very end of the year, they kept doing their in memoriam. And for a full day, they announced that Frank Thomas had died. And Frank Thomas did die. The white Frank Thomas, who was in his 80s, who was a slugger in Major League Baseball, not the black Frank Thomas, who's in his 50s, who worked for Fox until very recently. And they kept showing the picture of Chicago White Sox Frank Thomas, right? And then they went to commercial break, and it would be like Frank Thomas and Doug Flutie selling that.
Eugenics total team.
Right. Eugenics make her happy, huh?
Even if you're dead.
Man, this stuff really
Our
works.
testosterone's so good you will stay erect even if you're dead.
What's it? Nutrigenics? Is that what it's called?
Yeah. Nugenics Total T.
It's Nugenics?
Yes.
Nugenics. It works so well we couldn't close the casket.
Here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
Hour 2 of Miller and Moulton on this first Thursday of 2024. Hope your week is going well. Hope your year is off to a good start. Thanks for keeping us on your schedule, if you will, in the early parts of 2024. Roy Cummings in 35 minutes to talk about the Bucs. JP Shadrick next hour. We'll talk the Jags. Mark, if there's one thing I tried to tell you during my years of local TV news, do you know what the audience likes?
Oh, that's a
follow-up.
A follow-up. David.
Right. Mark,
we need a follow-up.
We are going to do a follow-up right now.
Whoa.
Whether the audience wants it or not, needs it or not, damn it, we're giving it to them.
Big.
Over-unders. Remember, we do this every year right before the season starts. Vegas puts out their over-under. We make picks. Who's going over? Who's going under? Ooh, we think that number's right on. Ooh, that's a toughie. All right, this was right before the season started. These were the over-unders in the NFL. So gauge how teams have done accordingly. The Bengals, Chiefs, and Eagles over-unders were all 11.5. So Bengals are going to go under. Chiefs are going to go under. Eagles can go over, though, right?
Eagles can go over.
They're 11-5. So that one's at stake. Well, there's one game this week. Right. There you go. All right. Ravens 10.5. Oof, way over. Bills 10.5. Well, they're at 10 now. So that's another over-under on the line. Niners 10.5. Over. Browns 9.5.
That's an over.
That's an over. Cowboys 9.5.
That is also an over.
Lions 9.5.
Trent, did you bet the Lions over this year?
Of course.
All right.
All right. Good. There you go. Man, just putting that 7.
It's like getting your tax returns. It's just I got like some money coming in at some point here when the season ends. You kind of forget about it.
So when you bet $3 on that, the return.
Nice.
So it's about $7. He just earned a day's pay on the Lions. Jaguars 9.5. Aren't they at 9?
They're at 9.
Ooh, so that's a third team, right? Eagles, Bills, Jags.
And they all should be playing hard too.
Chargers 9.5.
Oof.
As Vern would say, oofta.
Oof.
Oofta. Dolphins 9.5. That's another over.
That's an over.
All right. Saints 9.5. That's an under.
That is an under.
They can get to 9. They beat the Falcons. They get to 9, but that's an under. Jets 9.5.
That's obviously way under.
Falcons 8.5.
Just really quickly, did you hear Saleh yesterday that he thinks? I mean, Zach Wilson's going to have a long career in this league. Just stop it.
Honestly, the more he talks, the more I want to fire everybody who's not wearing a helmet and shoulder pads for the Jets. Honestly, I would literally tell Saleh at this point, listen, your owner has already said you're coming back. I would not do any media for the rest of the year. You're only hurting your case.
I really agree with you, David, because I know for a fact I have 0 sources in this world.
Okay.
I have one source
Mm-hmm.
who happens to know someone very high up with the Jets.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, very high up.
Mm-hmm.
And that guy loves the head coach.
Right.
He needs to shut his mouth.
Maybe he thinks Tomlin's coming for his job.
Well, once again, the owner's already said you're coming back. So the Jets were 9.5. Falcons 8.5. Denver 8.5. They're at 8.
Ooh.
That's another one. Denver at the Raiders. Vikings 8.5.
That's an under.
No, aren't they 8?
No, the Vikings are 7 and 9.
Oh, that's right. Okay, Vikings are an under. Patriots 7.5.
Well, we know what happened there.
Steelers 8.5.
That's an over.
You talk about money you got coming your way. I loaded up on the Steelers this year.
Did you back up the truck?
I had them winning the division.
Yeah.
I was high on the Steelers.
Yeah.
Some people think I was just playing high.
He fortunately got the over to pay for all his money that he lost on division and AFC and everything else that he was going for.
Seahawks 8.5. They're at 8.
They are at 8.
That's another one. Carolina's at 7.5. Oh, missed it by that much. Bears 7.5. Aren't they at 7? That's
The
another
Bears are
one.
at 7.
Oh. Packers at 7.5. They've already gone over. Titans 7.5. That's an under. Houston 6.5. Way over. Indianapolis 6.5. Way over. Vegas 6.5. That's an over, right?
That's
They're
an
at
over.
7.
They're 7-9.
Yeah. Rams 6.5. Way over in the playoffs already. Tampa Bay 6.5. Over. Commanders 6.5. That's an under.
That's an under.
And I think it's on the line this Sunday. Arizona's at 4, right?
4-12 is their record.
Over under 4.5.
So the Eagles, the
Mhm.
Bills,
Mhm.
the Jags, Denver,
Mhm.
Seattle, Chicago, and Arizona.
7 over-unders.
And a lot of them will be playing to win this week.
But also, most years, teams underachieve by Vegas's preseason number. We got a lot of overs here, don't we?
Yes. And by the way, only a couple of them are off by a lot, like Carolina.
Now, I mean, we started with a bunch of unders. Cincy, KC, Phillies pending, but Baltimore's over. Niners are over. Browns are over. Cowboys, Lions, over. Dolphins, over. I mean, Denver's, pending.
I'm looking at my preseason picks here, David.
Steelers are over. Seattle's pending. Chicago's pending. Green Bay's over. Houston's over. Indy's over. The Raiders are over. The Rams are over. The Bucs are over. I don't know. To me, that just seems like more overs than normal. We're over. Listen, as gamblers, we lose money constantly. That's why Vegas keeps getting bigger and bigger. But we are more optimistic about our teams. So we see a number and we go, oh, we're going over. And we bet the over. And Vegas goes, show me the money. So I don't know. To me, it just feels like more overs this year.
It does. Because there was no real great team. There wasn't, usually we have a couple of 13s or 14s up there. We don't have that this year. A lot of the 11-12 range. In evidence by only of the top 3 teams, only one going over.
And they haven't gone over yet.
Right.
They're at 11. Their over-under is 11.5. They need to win. So think about it. It feels to us like there's already been a lot more overs, and we have 7 teams who, with a win Saturday/Sunday, can go over.
Well, I'm looking at where I was wrong. My preseason picks. I mean, obviously, Cincinnati and the Jets are 2 that were.
Right. Now, obviously, we make picks, and we're not expecting Burrow and Rodgers to get hurt.
But for the last time, in looking at my preseason picks, I had the Chargers making the damn playoffs again.
I know you did. Well, I just know you're not going to make that mistake again. Or are you, when they get this new coach that you're very excited about? When Jim Harbaugh's running the Chargers?
Mark and the Chargers might reconcile.
I was going to say, I think they're just separated right now. They're spending some time apart.
They're already texting. They're in touch.
I don't know if they are.
No, we are not.
They're not directly texting, but he has texted someone who's friendly with them. Hey, how are things going? Season's almost over. Yeah, I'm having a good time here in Europe. All right. Yep. Nope. Not missing a thing. And then finally he'll get a text back. When are you coming back? Oh, I don't know. Probably not for another month or so. In the back of Mark's mind, when I find out who the new coach is.
But I'm laughing because, you and I were the same way. We had Indy and Houston at the bottom of the barrel.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I had Indy and Houston both going 3-14. I had Arizona going 2-15.
We did have Arizona on the clock.
Yes.
So, I mean, they've wildly overachieved. What are they drafting? 4th?
4 wins.
But, yeah, we had them on the clock. They've played hard for that coach. I'm impressed. They did not mail in a game this year. Not one. Despite that roster, despite their quarterback situation for the first half of the year.
And think about a couple of their wins. I mean, they beat the Eagles and the Cowboys, for crying out loud.
Yeah.
James Conner stayed healthy. They just ran the ball. There you go.
Doesn't he lead the league in touchdowns over the last 2 years? Rushing touchdowns, Connor?
Sounds right.
I mean, man,
He's a beast.
could Pittsburgh have used him in running game? No. Remember, he was done. Couldn't do it anymore. Had to go get Najee. Maybe it was the line. I don't know. Could have go out on a limb. I don't know much.
The line hasn't gotten much better.
It's kind of like what's going on with the Jets right now. All these guys they got rid of are going elsewhere and doing really well, including offensive linemen. In which the Jets got rid of them, they're starting elsewhere on playoff caliber teams. Got rid of the wide receiver, he's doing fine. Got rid of running back, he's doing fine. With the Jets, they're lousy. You don't think maybe it's the coaching, do you? And it doesn't have to be Saleh. It could be the assistants. You don't think maybe the position coaches aren't doing a good job? You suck when you play with me. You go play with Trent, you're good. Don't you blame me?
You have to.
I mean,
What's changed?
Look at Pat's talked about that. The offensive line coaching in the league across the board is not universal.
I mean, some of it could be on you. Who knows? Maybe you weren't in as good a shape and you need to get released to get your head out of you know what or what have you. Okay, fine. But I mean, some of that's got to be on me, right? And you were no good when you were with me. You go with Trent, you're good. I mean,
It can't just all be a new venue.
I mean, give you some credit, give Trent credit, but come on, you got to turn around, look at me and go, hey, why'd he suck with you?
Yeah, it's the ultimate. Two things can be a little bit true at the same time.
So got a lot of that going on with the Jets. But fortunately, everybody's coming back. I mean, the owner's taking a look at the situation and, everybody's coming back. The guy who picked, Zach Wilson second overall in the draft and Mekhi Becton 11th. I mean, there were no good tackles available when they drafted Becton. Oh, wait, Wirfs went 14. Damn.
Tim Boyle's coming back, Randall Cobb.
Right. Tim Boyle instead of Joe Flacco. Right.
Alan Lazard.
Well, again, the Joe Flacco, they ruined that opportunity to bring him back.
Well, if they had made him the starter, he would have come back. He wasn't coming back to back up Zach Wilson. All right. But he has said, if they called me and said, hey, 1 week to, get your feet wet and then you'll be starting. We'll start Zach against the Cowboys, but you'll be starting week 3. Flacco said, no, I would have come back to start. But I'm not coming back with a chance to start because he said your word's no good with me. You've lied to me before.
That's another high quality point of an organization, lying to their players.
Right.
That seems to do well in free agency.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
We both did pound. We were like, that's at 7.5, right? Wasn't there under something like that? We were like, there's no way. That's a last place team.
Well, we knew it was a last place roster.
Brett, I loved Mackey Arena, and the students were there. Okay, a lot of them showed up, the in-town students. I know they weren't in session. Finals had just ended, but the student section was packed with students. It was cool. Yeah, I found it to be very intimate. For 14,876, I found it to be very intimate. No, Brett, definitely not a bad seat. My broadcast position was across from the benches about half to 2/3 of the way up, right by the Big Ten Network cameras. And Mello, I'm guessing it's just a different microphone. That is why I sound different. Think you could leave that up or no?
That camera, I'm leaving it right there. I leave this one here every day. I haven't taken that home in a month.
Okay, so he doesn't touch it?
They don't use this computer.
Oh, okay.
I was going to leave a little note and say, hey, David's in town. Sorry about the tape on your computer. Yeah. It'll be off tomorrow. Just trying to be nice.
Yeah.
I mean, I even walked into Tom and said, hey, man, if we got to cut promos for a week, if you're going to be gone, let us know because you were running Thursday promos you're running promos for the Thursday show on Friday. And I go, that just makes us look bad. I go, inevitably it comes back. It looks like we don't know what we're doing. So if you need us to do a week's worth of generic promos because you're going to be out of town, let us know, man. We'll do it.
Yeah. They really should kiss our ass.
They don't care.
Right. They should care.
I don't need our ass kissed. I would just like them to be respectful.
Acknowledge our existence. Have you listened?
Oh yeah.
Is it as?
Oh, it's much worse without Shepard.
Because I didn't know if John was having an out-of-body experience or what.
It's not as bad as he says.
Although he's just claiming that for 6 minutes. He never sent us the clip. Remember he said he was going to clip it? I don't know how he'd do that, by the way, but. Exactly, Johnny Mac. Who'd have thunk that the Browns would be in position to rest their quarterback? Oh, and his name is Joe Flacco.
Not the guy you moved heaven and earth for. Not him.
Tell you what, though, people forget his last appearance.
Yeah.
With a broken shoulder.
It's the best half he's played as a Brown.
He was perfect and led him from behind to beat Baltimore. In Baltimore.
How have teams been doing this year in Baltimore?
I'm saying, I mean, that's pretty good.
Yeah. It's about as AFC.
I know he's a bum and all, but
not a bum, just inconsistent. If that doesn't scream AFC North, I don't know what does. Broken shoulder. Going into Baltimore, the best team in the league. All right, here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
21 minutes past the hour. Roy Cummings in a little more than 15 minutes time. The Bucs win. They win the division. That'd be fourth straight playoff appearance, wouldn't it? Brady's 3 years and then this year. Hey, for that franchise.
Be 3 straight division titles too.
Right.
The Succaneers?
Take it easy now.
Hey, I never called them that.
Take
I
it
never
easy
called
now.
them.
Really?
I
You
never
never.
called
That
them.
just flew right out of your mouth. You're going, oh, but that's not me.
Never
Well,
said that before.
That's just people, you know, I grew up around.
I'm giving them credit. That's what they used to be called.
Wait.
Now they've won 4 straight division
Actually,
titles, maybe.
I don't think they were ever in these parts the Succaneers.
Not in these parts.
I think they were the Yuck.
Yeah, the Yuccaneers.
The Yuccaneers.
I stand corrected.
Right.
Yes.
I'm giving them credit. That sounded affectionate, didn't it?
It is marvelous, the brain and thought process, because his predecessor said things similarly.
Right.
No, I'm giving them credit.
No. I'm actually, it's a compliment. Really.
It didn't sound like a compliment.
You went, oh, the Succaneers. No. That was meant with love.
As he's decked out in head to toe in Lions.
I've had the
merch.
paper bag over my face. I'm in no position to talk.
None whatsoever.
Please, you've had the bag over your head for so long with that franchise. Breathing was problematic.
Yep.
Although, once again, 4 years ago when Brady joined, that franchise in Tampa had the worst winning percentage since 1976 in the 4 major sports of any professional franchise. I think this would tie a record. I think they made the playoffs 4 years in a row between Dungy and Gruden. But I don't believe they've ever had 3 straight division titles.
That I'm almost positive that has not happened in franchise history.
So Roy Cummings to talk about that coming up in a matter of moments. And Trent will dish out more compliments with the play of the day coming up in about 5 minutes' time.
Text line is wide open at 21,000, 21,000, 21,000 if you want to chime in on any of the show. I was going to save this for the good, and it's not a sports story, but I'm baffled by this. Now, I know you're not a video game guy.
Right.
But you are aware of the game Tetris.
Yeah.
You may have even played Tetris at one point. It was that popular on computers across the land. Have you played the game Tetris, Trent?
Of course.
Okay. A 13-year-old broke the game yesterday. Willis Gibson is thought to have become the first human to ever beat Tetris. He gets to level 157 and the game crashes. As someone who spent countless hours
getting to level 6,
working for the Nashville Knights Hockey Club, and my buddy Kim Jump and I in offices back to back one another in the latter parts of the day, you could hear the keyboard pounding as we're playing Tetris.
Right. It wasn't for a sales order.
No,
it
was just mindless time. I was fired up to see this teenager beat a game, beat a computer.
So it's like war games. Okay. You get to 157 and the screen just goes.
Exactly. It's over.
And then, like war games, does Tetris say, want to play tic-tac-toe? I'm dating myself.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the movie's only 40 years old. That's all. I'm just dating myself a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yep.
But our audience is right there with you.
I mean, that was before Matthew Broderick killed a guy.
Mark's speechless. David said this was going to go off the rails.
Okay. No.
The hell?
I brought that up many times.
No, I know you have. But I brought up Tetris and a kid beating a video game, and you take that right to war games. Well, Matthew Broderick killing a guy.
Well,
that's the 6 degrees separation in a hurry.
Well, Tetris, beating the game. War games was, beating the game and preventing nuclear war. Okay, we had a movie. Essentially, it was Tetris. It was just about nuclear warheads. That's all. But it was Tetris. Okay. And much like the 13-year-old kid, we had Matthew Broderick and his girlfriend, they were, teenagers, like 17-year-olds beating the game.
And Matthew Broderick was yet to kill a guy.
Right. Just a statement of fact. That's all.
I'm following you. Kind of.
It's why I didn't have much of a rebuttal, because it is a statement of fact.
Right. I mean, everything I just said is true. That's all. He just got off scot-free for that. That's all. Just a bone of contention for me. Just,
And then they went all the way to the TV show on HBO, reenacted the whole thing in England. So the son killed someone in a car and got away with it.
right. Yeah. Funny how that works.
Succession. Took me a second to get to the
Yeah.
show, but
Right.
I'm there now, which probably leads us to what time for that play of the day, isn't it?
Oh, look at the time.
Holy cow. Time for our Molly Made play of the day with Trent Bally. Trent, what do you have for us?
Yeah. Say something affectionate towards someone here. Go.
We only had 2 NHL games last night. Seth Everett's Devils beat the Caps. The other game went to overtime. We go to Anaheim, where the 13-win Ducks are hosting the Maple Leafs. The over-under for goals was 6.5. That went way under. It was just 1-1 going to overtime. And about 2 minutes into the extra period, Austin Matthews gave us this.
Here's Riley with the puck. Gets it to Marner in a good spot. Matthews scores. It's a game winner. And number 30 for Austin Matthews. And the Leafs win back-to-back in Southern California.
The Leafs with 45 points are sandwiched between the Panthers, who have 48, and the Lightning, who have 41 in the Atlantic Division. Things are heating up.
By
You
the
know
way,
what they say.
hear all those Leafs fans in Southern California? That sounded almost like a home game.
It was 94% full, the attendance.
Yeah.
17,000 strong.
And it was 12,000 Leafs fans.
That's right.
And there's your play of the day, presented by Molly Made.
The Molly Made play of the day. Go to mollymade.com/FTMYERS and get them to clean your house.
So that's his 30th goal.
Right.
He's on pace for
70, I believe.
That's just silly. That's like a video game. Austin Matthews is playing Tetris, for goodness sakes. He's about ready to break the game. 70 goals in a season.
I think Tamu was the last one to do 70 in a season. It's been a while.
What's the record? It's got to be Gretzky, right? But what's the number?
91?
Oh my
91
goodness.
or 93?
Yeah.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah, well, they called him the great one for a reason. Yeah. I thought it was low 90s for Gretzky the one year.
Either way, just for perspective, that is remarkable.
So Austin Matthews with 30, Ovechkin's got 8.
Not for lack of shooting by Ovechkin.
No, he's still firing away on the power play.
Had a great assist last night, helping him come back from 3-1 down to tie it 3-3, but the Devils getting it done in the third last night.
So Lightning, by the way, they're
picking it up.
I don't want to say they're in trouble, but they've played about the most number of games in the league of any team. So they're right on the edge of making the playoffs, and they've played like 3 more games than the teams that they're competing with right now for that final wild card. So, teams don't always make up those games with points, but I'm just saying right now, Tampa's in a little bit of a precarious playoff position.
And it's a little early to worry about games in hand and things of that nature. It's more to me about their battle in the Flyers. Can the Flyers continue to play at the level at which they're playing? I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
They're way over the skis. Can the Caps continue to play at the level they're playing at? I don't think so. Cream rises to the top. I think Tampa will be fine.
I hope so. Although, let's face it, if you're the fan of a team that could finish with one of the top spots in the East, like you really want to see the Lightning in the first round. Oh, great. Braden Point, Stammer, Kucherov, Hedman, on that Vasilevsky guy. This will be easy.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Myers.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
$54.
Yep, I watched every
Overtime in the mid 130s.
every dribble. That was the most points the Pistons have scored in Utah ever. Oh, sorry. I didn't realize. That was the most points Detroit's ever scored in Utah. For what it's worth.
Okay.
Weird stat.
It's not worth much.
No, it is not. Historically, they're not very good there. You only play there once a year, though.
No, Matthew Broderick, Johnny O, is a very talented actor. Tremendous on Broadway. He did kill a guy, though.
I mean, even Vince Neil did 30 days in jail for killing a guy.
Yeah. I mean, Dante Stallworth did 24, 28.
28.
Vince Neil. They were just like, yeah, you can just go around and talk to high school students about drunk driving, and he's still partying his bike
No.
off.
I just shocking they thought that behavior would continue.
Oh, I know. That's what I'm saying. It's the 80s.
Yeah. Knicks had a shot at Tyrese Halliburton. They took Obi Toppin.
I was
screaming at the TV.
The Cavs passed
for
on
the
him, too.
draft. Screaming and they needed a point guard. Unflippin' believable.
We passed on him, too. We took Killian Hayes. The Pistons, not we. Excuse me.
You know how many games he's had this year with 10 or more assists and no turnovers?
He's a stud. How many?
Like almost 10.
Yeah.
No turnovers.
Yeah. Efficient. Like, it's one thing to have 5 assists and no turnovers. To do double digits?
By the way, anybody see Trevor throw here? No. No. It's a week and a half. Because he didn't practice or throw all last week. That's Wednesday practice. He didn't throw a ball. He was out practice. He didn't throw. Just holding on to the ball there, doing drills.
Oh, crap. There's Roy. Sorry, Roy.
It's okay.
Good morning. How are you?
Good. How are you? You guys in the same studio together?
We're in the same studio today.
Wow. That's
I know.
first time in a while, I'm thinking, huh?
Yeah, 3 months. I think it was late October. I had to come to town for some scans. So, yeah, I'm in town for a game.
So what the heck? All right. Very
Yeah.
nice.
Mark has to remember to bring in the second camera.
That's broken.
Right.
It's the back end, just one of the little, top of the monitor cameras, but the part that locks it on, the clip is broken in half, so it's literally taped to the monitor.
Scotch tape, Roy. They have
Yes.
Scotch tape.
Nothing says Miller and Moulton quite like Scotch tape.
Hey, the things people don't see behind the scenes, huh?
Exactly.
Well, everybody looks good, but don't touch a thing.
Got that right.
And don't bang on anything. Be very gentle.
Exactly.
Right.
Don't slam the door. Everybody have a happy new year?
Yeah. I actually made it till New Year's, which is
Yeah,
rare.
me too.
Yeah, right back at you. I got back in town like dinner time on New Year's Eve. So
Not a big New Year's guy myself.
Mark's always called it amateur night.
It is indeed. Good night to stay in. Sorry, guys. Still wiping the sleep out of my eyes.
Yeah, I understand.
Sometimes I'm doing that at 7:32, and I've been up for 3 hours. Another show goes.
Right.
Here we go.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes before the hour. JP Shadrick talking Jags an hour from now. Trevor Lawrence, is he going to play? Didn't practice all last week. Is he back practicing? Is he back throwing? Talk to JP. Jags with a win the AFC South. Tampa Bay Bucs with a win the NFC South. This their second shot at it. They need a mulligan. Roy Cummings covers the Bucs. You can follow him on Twitch/X at rcummingsfhcn, rcummingsfhcn. All right, Mr. Glass Half Full, you spin last week for us.
Yeah, that was that looked like one of my tee shots, about 30 yards to the left and into a pond. Ball lost. Start all over. I mean, just a miserable effort. I gotta say, easily one of their worst games of the year, at the worst possible time. Obviously, I mean, a big chance to once again prove you can beat a fairly decent team, and they couldn't do it. So now they get a chance to kind of they're not backing in. I mean, if they win, if they win, even if they don't win convincingly, just get there and figure it out. The week after, but. Boy, oh boy, it gives you a little bit of pause. They're not going to make it easy, obviously.
Well, they lost. They got beat up, and Baker got beat up. I mean, he was hit hard in that game and didn't practice yesterday. All indications are he's going to play, but he's not going to be anywhere close to 100% for this game, is he?
No, I don't think so. He did not practice yesterday, and my guess is he won't practice. He'll probably practice Friday, but I doubt that he'll be out there much today. I really think that they're trying to, just limit his, his reps now but at this point, look, if it's sore ribs and it's in the upper part of the rib cage, it's really a matter of, if he takes another hit, which he's sure to do, that could cause more damage, but what can he do now? So, what do you do? How do you measure this? I think you've got to lean a little bit more on the run game than you wanted to, maybe less on the rollouts and exposing him the way you did last week on the play that he got hurt on. Maybe try to avoid that and just hope the defense can maybe take one to the house. Maybe that would help. We haven't seen that in a while, so maybe that would work, or maybe even get something out of special teams. They're going to need some help here, and I think they're quite capable of it. But it just gives you, makes you concerned a little bit about going forward. How good can they be with Baker not at 100%? That's a tough question to answer.
Well, and what's difficult for me, for what that's worth, to take going forward is the Bucs were at the point in which they could have proven with a solid performance, never mind a win this past Sunday, that they were a decent team, borderline good team. That would have been 5 wins in a row. That would have clinched the division. Also, they could rest guys this week getting ready for the Eagles or the Cowboys. But, man, to throw a clunker on the board at home when you've got that much to play for, it kind of makes me think, wow, man, this team is more fragile than maybe we were thinking they are.
Yeah, it seemed like all of a sudden everybody kind of came around to this belief that, hey, Baker Mayfield is the comeback player of the year, and he's, who would have seen this coming? And look at the Buccaneers. They're a nice, strong team because that's what they were looking like. But those of us who've seen them consistently know a little bit better. We know that this is a fragile team, that it's pretty much got to play perfect football in order to win, no matter who they're playing, that they can go down against anybody, especially a good team. What bothers me, what I'm concerned with most is inside the locker room, how much of a dent did this put in their confidence? I think they were riding very high and feeling very good about themselves in every facet of the game. Everybody was coming along, playing at a high level. And all of a sudden, the line wasn't so strong. Rashad White was, disappeared. Baker Mayfield's hurt. Passing game didn't look that good. Defense, again, continuing to give up big chunks. Not a lot of plays there. So it just makes you wonder, how much of a dent do they take, emotionally, mentally? How's the confidence level at this point? I think it's enough to beat Carolina, but Carolina's as bad as it gets. So if you don't beat these guys by 30 points, everybody's going to look at you and say, look, they were going to be an underdog no matter what, even at home, probably in the playoffs. But now they could be a rousing underdog. So we'll see.
What do you do to get Mike Evans in the game earlier? Because he didn't get a lot of balls, didn't have a lot of targets. I think ended up with 3 catches, but only 4 targets. To me, maybe it was just a Saints thing, Roy. And, I know the last game against the Saints, he didn't score, but played a little bit better. But was it just a Saints thing, or how do they get Evans in the game earlier? Because it seems to me that helps Baker get going earlier.
Bubble screen, guys. Bubble screen. Put him in a slot, throw a quick bubble screen to him, and let him get going physically. That's how Mike Evans wants to play. Get the ball in his hands, put some blockers in front of him, and if he has to do the rest to get 8 yards, fine. Get 8 yards out of it. Just get him the ball right away so that so that at least someone has this belief defensively that, oh, he's going to be their target today. He's going to be their guy. He's the guy they're going to. The bubble screen's safe enough. It'll get you the ball to him and let him get involved. I think that's one way to start it. Because I also like the fact that it kind of, again, it's a bit of a running play. So it sets that up as well. And it allows for those deeper balls to Mike Evans later on. So look, I think there's ways to do it. I think right now Dave Canales has got to dig a little bit deeper into that playbook and find some things that they haven't done before that they're good at least good at in practice, and bring them out this week. Again, do they need them this week? I don't know, but they're going to need him next week and the week after if they get there.
He's Roy Cummings, covers the Tampa Bay Bucs. Follow him on Twix, R. Cummings, FHCN, R. Cummings, FHCN. I may be way out of line here, but you have said for a long time that Bucs ownership cares greatly about how seasons end. And I'm thinking back to, there was a coach of the Bucs about 15 years ago, and they were poised to make the playoffs, and they lost their last 4, and they finished 9-7, and he was unceremoniously fired a few weeks later.
Yeah.
His name was John Gruden. And if Todd Bowles and this Bucs team lose in Carolina to miss the playoffs, I'm not so sure ownership handles this well.
No, they don't. And look, I have said all along that I still think that Todd Bowles is on a bit of a hot seat here, and it just got hotter last week because if you can't deliver the team when it matters most, well, then why are you here? As I said earlier, those of us who've watched this closely, watched every snap, know that this team is more fragile than the record would suggest, or that the recent winning streak would suggest, and that they're really not there on either side of the ball. That they've kind of taken good advantage so far of a very weak NFC South division and an NFC weak NFC conference. They've been very fortunate, and if they can't look, even if they win at Carolina, but if they just kind of squeak by, if it's 2017 or 17-13 or something like that.
You mean like it was when they played at Ray J?
Yes, and then lose in the playoffs convincingly. That all gets factored in. And again, this is it. Think of a big old grandfather clock with a pendulum, and if the pendulum is not on the upswing, if you don't feel that pendulum on the upswing, the Glazers will probably let Todd Bowles go.
How do they get off to a good start against Carolina? That seems to be the key. I mean, you look at they ended up losing the turnover battle against the Saints. They got down quickly. They've got to get off to a good start. How do they do that?
Yeah, well, the simple answer obviously is defensively take the ball away. Get off to a good 7 minute drive that results in a touchdown, sort of like the way New Orleans did against you. I think bottom line, just be dominant, even if it doesn't end up in points, even if it doesn't end up in a takeaway, whatever it is. Move the ball efficiently, get off the field quickly, whichever one it is, just be dominant from the start. Show that you are the better team. And it's not even close. Show right away that it's not even close. If you rack up 60 yards offensively and then turn it over or something, or just, and miss a third down and you kick a field goal, okay, but go down there quickly. Just be very sound. Personally, I would start with, as I said, maybe a bubble screen to kind of, get that in someone's head. Follow it up with a couple of good solid runs. Get Rachaad White going early. Get that offensive line going early. Defensively, try to do it without the blitz. Maybe play a little cover 2, and let the young quarterbacks make their mistakes. So kind of feed into that. That's what I would do. But I think either way, no matter which side of the ball you're on, be dominant and show that this is our game right from the start.
Well, to me, Roy, in Carolina offensively, you could argue is the worst team in the league on that side of the ball. They're bottom. I think they're second fewest points. Only the Patriots have scored 3 points less. They're averaging less than 15 points a game. I mean, if the Bucs defense can't deliver in this spot against this offense, don't you make offseason personnel changes accordingly?
Yeah, I think you do. No doubt about that. But again, a lot of very young players up front for this team. And that you're just going to have inconsistency with that. And we're seeing some inconsistencies out of the young, defensive backs as well. So that you factor that in. But look, I like the way Devin White has come back the last 2 weeks. I think he's played extremely well. Levante David is going to be there for you as long as he's healthy. Kalijah Cansey's making, a lot of noise in the backfield. I like the way they're playing defensively. It's just that, boy, oh boy, if you're Carolina, you got to be saying to yourself, look, the yards are out there. We can move the ball against these guys. Everybody else is. Why can't we? And that's the thing that concerns me is they just, despite the fact that I like the individual talent, it is yet to develop into a cohesive whole that is really as strong as what that talent looks like on paper. And then that's, to me, is a problem defensively.
And finally, Roy, we've been glass half empty for this whole interview, but the fact of the matter remains they win their third straight division title, and they make the playoffs for the 4th year in a row. We don't think they've ever won 3 straight division titles, and I think they've only one other time in franchise history made the playoffs 4 years in a row. I mean, these are the good days, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, they are, and that shouldn't be forgotten because, and again, a lot of that is a result of the division being as weak as it is, because back in the day it was a very strong division. You had at least 3, sometimes 4 really, really good teams. It was the quarterback division. Every team could win and win at a high level and win consistently, and you had a couple of Super Bowl champions out of it. You had a Super Bowl finalist out of it in Atlanta that should have won a Super Bowl. So a lot of those, but those days are gone right now. And look, I've said all along, this is the best team in the division on paper. Go out and play like it. If they look at last week as if, hey, you know what, like you said, just didn't concentrate on that tee shot, took my eye off the ball, they should be fine. But is this team capable of doing that? Certain individuals are, but I don't know if the whole team is.
Roy, as always, thanks for your time and your insight. A belated Happy New Year to you and yours. And, we're going to have a lively discussion next week, one way or the other.
Indeed we are, guys. Indeed we are.
Thanks, Roy.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Roy Cummings, R. Cummings, FHCN, R. Cummings, FHCN, to follow him on Twix. Good feeling or bad feeling?
A great feeling. Jacksonville just shut this team out with a backup quarterback. There is no reason why the Tampa Bay Buccaneers should not win this game handily, and move into the postseason. If they don't win the game, then it's really obvious. You fire the head coach. And I'm not being flippant. I'm not joking around. I don't know how you can't look at this game as, hey, should be an easy win. And I know it's the NFL and there's no such thing. But look at what Jacksonville just did a week ago with a backup quarterback. This should be no problem for Tampa Bay.
Hope you're right.
The team has 1 win. Carolina, right?
2.
Oh, 2 now. Okay.
2.
But I think Roy's definitely onto something with the style points thing as far as the bowl situation goes. Like if they beat Carolina by a field goal and then they get blown out by the Eagles, they could fire Bowles.
Yes. Yeah. I mean,
despite winning the division.
They fired John Gruden coming off a winning season, and we all know what Gruden had done in Tampa. Yeah. I mean, this ownership has had no problems making the big, bold move. Whether it's worked or not, they've had no problems making the big, bold, strong move.
And what is it you're looking for out of a team is how hard they play. They didn't play hard last week. That was not a hard effort.
It's amazing in that spot. Not that they got beat, but that they played that poorly. Miller and Moulton, Florida Sports Network.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few jewelry stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, The Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
So what days does your better half work?
Monday through Saturday.
Oh, it's just splitting jobs.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, she's Monday through Friday. Like this week, she's got today off, and she works Friday, Saturday.
Gotcha. As for does FGCU cover tonight, I will say this place is a black hole for Jacksonville. They haven't won here in 8 years. FGCU is 18-5 in their last 23 against Jacksonville. I don't think that this is a strong Jacksonville team. To me, they're missing their best player also in Workman. They're not a good perimeter shooting team. They only shoot the three at like 31%. And it's a shame too, because when I've seen them play, they've gotten the looks. They just can't hit them. And I don't know if there's guys on the team to hit them from what I've seen. It will be a little weird. And yes, I am getting paid. I didn't drive 5 hours and, I mean, I like Mark, I miss him, but, I wouldn't be here if I wasn't getting paid by Jacksonville to do the games.
How was the drive yesterday?
It was easy. It was fast. There was no traffic. It was great. I stopped once and the drive took like 5:10. It was easy.
A 5-hour drive here, I've noticed, is so much better than a 5-hour drive in the Midwest, because you actually have good roads here. The weather's nice. You get to look at palm trees instead of corn. There are worse places to have a 5-hour drive.
I will say the roads thing is a big
difference. It's terrible.
How much nicer the roads are than in large sections of the country. The impact of winter on roads is significant.
And all the politicians do is promise you they're going to fix the roads, and then they don't get fixed. Or there's just traffic cones up year round, which is almost as bad.
KW, it's a mess. Traffic's horrible here. Yeah, we've got so much construction going on still from Ian. There's, and not to mention just construction period, that they can't build things fast enough right now.
Here we go.
I would.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
And just like that, it's the third and final hour of Miller and Moulton, at least along the network. The Diamond District bonus hour awaits 1 hour from now in the 239. Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. JP Shadrick to join us in about 35 minutes' time. The Jags, like the Bucs, facing a situation where if they win the Southern Division. Have to go on the road and beat a struggling division rival. Dolphins, meanwhile, are at home facing a division rival on a roll that has their number. Kerwin was going through the Josh Allen, Tua versus each other stats, besides the whole wins and losses thing. But Tua averages against the Bills 1 touchdown pass per game. Josh Allen averages just under 3 touchdowns per game against the Dolphins in his career. I mean, this is...
Look at where their defense is right now with Miami, how well they were playing.
And guys were getting healthy, and now look at them. X is out, Chubb is out, Ramsey's banged up. Wilkins, by the way, has really underperformed this year. I don't know if he'll be back. They may just say, yeah, we can't afford you. Sorry. I know what you're looking for. You didn't play like that at all this year. And he may walk because he may be offended because they're going to offer him less in the offseason than they offered him in August when they wanted him to sign long term. He has not played well this year. Yeah. And they have to somehow, some way figure out how to corral Josh Allen in that offense. Diggs' his numbers. Tyreek, including with the Chiefs, he's played against the Bills 9 times. You know how many touchdowns he has against the Bills? In 9 games. Mahomes and Tua.
4.
2. That's surprising. I mean, I'm trying to think, okay, yeah, the Bills have been good. And okay, yeah, the Bills most years have had, at least one good corner, but who can run with Tyreek?
Nobody. I mean, at some point you should be able to get him behind.
Now, up until recently, the Bills had very good safety play, and they had depth at safety in years past. But the numbers right now are so much in Buffalo's favor. It's stunning, actually.
Trent, was it you that said yesterday Buffalo wins by double digits?
No. I think Miami's going to win.
You think Miami's going to win?
I do.
I know what I said a week ago, but I don't feel good about it.
I don't either. And then, we just got through the defensive side. Well, Mozart was banged up last week. Waddle's banged up. Don't know if he's going to be able to go.
By the way, quick tangent. Did you see the fire at Tyreek's house?
Yes. There was a fire at his house while he was at practice.
Yeah, he had to leave practice and go. He and his family are safe. But, yeah.
Huge fire.
At his house, huge fire.
Like they were doing the aerial shot of it, and it was just huge.
I mean, I'm not making light of a house fire at all. Please don't anybody. But, I mean, when an NFL wide receiver's house is on fire, what's the first thing those of us of a certain age think about? Andre Rison, left eye. And she lit his house on fire in Atlanta. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. All right. If you're of a certain age, all right, and you hear about a high profile wide receiver's house on fire, all right, and no one was hurt in that fire either.
All I can think of is the other two from the band.
Right.
There was one of those, VH1 documentaries on them. And they get to that point in the thing, and the two of them talking one, turn on Channel 5. Turn on Channel 5.
She burned down the house.
She burnt down the house.
Right. I'm sorry. I was driving yesterday to Southwest Florida from Jacksonville. I heard about it on, one of the radio stations, and I went, I hope it's not an Andre Rison situation. And fortunately, they said everybody, was okay.
Good.
Right. But yeah, it's been a hell of a week for Tyreek.
Let me ask you guys this. So you got the Dolphins who they control their destiny at this point. And then the Bills, same kind of deal, but they're coming into Miami as 3.5-point favorites. Who's the pressure on?
Well, it's on Buffalo because if they lose, they could be out.
Right.
I mean, Miami's in. All right. And I don't think Miami's draw is bad. And Miami's draw could be excellent with a win.
But
it could be.
If Miami,
it could be awful, but it could be excellent.
If
they could end up with
losing,
Pittsburgh.
They could end up with Pittsburgh, and then they could host, in theory, the Chiefs. All right. I mean, now they could also win and have to play the Bills again, which would just be awful. I mean, what are the odds you're going to beat the Bills twice when you've beaten them once in like 6 years?
Big picture, and it's like if they don't win the AFC East this season, when the Bills were 5-5 or 6-6, whatever they were,
6-6,
and you don't win it this year, when are you going to win it?
No, I wouldn't look at it that way.
I don't look at it that way because the core of this team's going to be back next year. I mean, I still look at the Dolphins as a team on the rise, not as a team that's peaking.
So this would be huge for them, though, to win the division for this core.
Well, it definitely would. But I also think it would show the organization if they lose, and no matter what happens in the playoffs, one and done, or they win one and then they get bounced, that it would show, listen, we still have a lot more we got to do. That next step is the hardest, and we haven't gotten there. In fact, we haven't gotten there in 30 years. What is it we have to do to take that next step? They'll have to probably make some very hard personnel decisions either way.
Well, and you already brought up one. Wilkins is because that's a super talented player that you don't want to let go. But he's underperformed this year. He's going to want big money.
And at that position, someone will give it to him.
I mean, X is gone after this year.
Yes, he is. He is. I will say they've drafted well in the secondary, though, in the last couple of years. I mean, they didn't 3 years ago with Igbayani, but they moved on from him. But they've got guys in-house that they think can replace X. And those that have reported that their cap situation is not good, I think are missing how easy the Dolphins can bookkeep their cap situation. It's like the Chiefs. The Chiefs cap situation is terrible every year. They've structured contracts in a way in which it's like we're fine. Okay, give me that contract over here. We'll bookkeep it. We'll turn it into, we'll just take some money out of our pocket, give it up front. We're fine. The Dolphins are in a very similar situation, also from the guys they can move on from.
Well, and I don't think Ross has a problem taking money out of his pocket to do that right now. I mean, he's getting to that desperate mode of an owner where you're at a certain age and it's like, hey, I need to win a Super Bowl. I need to make a playoff run, and he's doing his part.
It would be a kick in the teeth for the Dolphins, though, to beat the Bills this week and then have to play them the next. To eliminate the Bills, Pittsburgh has to win. That's the 4:30 game Saturday. Steelers have to win. Steelers lose to the Ravens, Bills are in. Steelers have to win. Jacksonville has to win. That's what I find interesting, how the Jacksonville situation affects Buffalo.
Right, because if Jacksonville wins, they win the division.
Right.
Which means the winner of the Indianapolis-Houston game is an automatic wild card team.
Correct. And then it comes down to Bills versus Steelers, and Steelers would win because of conference record if Miami were to beat Buffalo.
David, I want you to answer this text because I know what my answer is.
Okay.
And this person's not only texted this once, but basically copy and pasted it from our show on the 28th of December and copy and pasted the same thing today.
Okay.
He really wants to get this point on the air.
Okay.
I would stop at the first sentence because, guys, I know it sounds crazy. If you start a text with that.
Well, we start points like that too.
That's how I start half my sentences to you guys.
In fairness, you and I do it to each other all the time. Hey, I know this is nuts.
All right. Then if I'm going to read the whole thing without jumping in, I have to read it
in a
certain voice.
Go.
Guys, I know it sounds crazy,
Oh,
but if the Dolphins have a first-round exit in the playoffs, do they take a stab at Russ? Seems like he would be a good fit in the McDaniel system.
That's brutal. David's speechless.
it is amazing to me how many people still think Tua's not good.
You want Russell Wilson over Tua?
There's a 10-year age difference.
He wants him to take a stab at Russell.
Well,
Just give it a try. Kick the tires on it.
So what do you want us to? Okay, we took a stab at Russ. He said yes. And now what?
Now we have an open quarterback competition?
So Russ is the guy, Tua's not?
What does Tua have to do? He's about to start every game. Playing well. Might win the division. Was in the MVP conversation all year.
Very quickly, we got 2 minutes till break. How many quarterbacks would you take over Tua? When in doubt, by the way, take the other guy. Dak?
Tua.
Hurts? All right, then that's a Hurts. If it's like
that's really
Hurts.
close.
Okay, NFC North. Cousins? I would. All right, anybody else in that division? Love?
No.
Goff?
No.
Okay, Fields?
No.
All right. South. Baker, we know who the quarterbacks are. Carr.
No.
All right. Atlanta, Carolina.
No.
Okay. Purdy?
No.
Really?
That's shocking.
That's interesting. Okay. Stafford?
You know what Tua would do playing in that system with those players? Come on now. With that line, Tua doesn't have a line.
Stafford?
I'll take Stafford over Tua.
Okay. And then Gino and Kyler Murray.
Kyler.
Okay. So Josh Allen.
Yes.
You take Josh Allen. No one else in the division. In the North, Lamar.
Right.
And then anybody, Burrow.
And Burrow, for sure.
Anybody Cleveland or Pittsburgh?
No.
Okay. The South, would you take Trevor Lawrence?
No.
Stroud?
That's interesting. Not right now.
Yeah, because you're projecting if you pick Stroud.
Okay. And then in the West, Mahomes, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
Would you take Herbert? You paused. By my definition, that's supposed to be a Herbert.
That's Herbert then.
Ooh, look at you. Your whole Chargers life coming back.
We're separated, David. I can't.
That was a text to the Chargers. That was a text right there. I would take Herbert.
He
over
hasn't
Tua.
thought about the Chargers, and then I just brought something up. We're sitting around, we're having beers in Istanbul, and he goes, "Really? Did you have to say Justin Herbert?"
And I just answered the text with a smiley face emoji. That's all I did. There was no words, nothing else spoken. Just an emoji. Miller and Moulton, thanks for listening.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Michael in the Twitch chat room, you asked earlier about I would bet Stetson led the 7.5 at home tonight. I think Stetson's pretty good. I think Stetson's certainly top 5, top 4 in the league. Stetson went to UCF and beat the Knights. I think Stetson's pretty good.
By the way, Mark, I agree with you on Purdy. I had it backwards in my head. I thought you were saying you'd take Purdy over Tua. And I was like, wow.
We went through it again. So he took 8 quarterbacks over Tua.
So he's top 10 easily. Not easily, but he's top 10.
But Mark also made a good point. We didn't say at Rodgers. Like we looked at the Jets' current quarterback situation. So in theory, you could,
Would you though?
Would you?
For 1 year, I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
I would take I think Rodgers has 2 years left at a level that's better than Tua.
39 years off an Achilles, and you take Rodgers.
Yeah, I would. Remember,
I mean, I know
think I think this group has 2 years, and then they have to retool it.
The Jets, you're saying?
No, the Dolphins.
Oh, the Dolphins.
I think the Dolphins with this group have a 2-year run. Then they're going to have to.
Rodgers
and so, who do you want for the 24 and 25? You want Rodgers? Or you want Tua?
I would go Tua, but I get the. I would go Tua just because of the age and the Achilles.
I mean, obviously, if I'm thinking about next 10 years, I would take Tua, obviously, but.
Yeah, it's always interesting the who would you want conversation as opposed to just ranking the quarterbacks because it's not the same conversation. Yeah, my bad. My mic was hot there for a second.
That is your bad.
Your guys' weren't. Mine was.
Tell you what, the NFC North could be really good going forward.
Okay, you sure everything's off? Because I'm still getting.
Yes, everything is off. It's delayed.
I mean, the Packers are the youngest team in the league. They have a chance to go 9-8 and make the playoffs. And he may be, decent. The Bears are finishing strong. Their quarterback could be decent. And they're going to have assets heading into this draft, and they got a lot of free agent room financially. You got the Lions. if Minnesota can bring back Kirk Cousins.
If they don't, do you think they have the worst future out of the
Absolutely. Four? Also, if they don't bring back Kirk Cousins, they could lose Jefferson.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, but Despicable D, he's never been a extend the play quarterback. He wasn't that in college. He got hurt on one of those plays.
Here we go.
Welcome back to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
"21 minutes past the hour. JP Shadrick in a little more than 15 minutes time. Jags win they're in, lose, likely out. And that'd be top 5 disappointing team in the league this year if they don't make the playoffs. Coming off what they did last year, what we thought they'd be this year, and the division that they're in, which has turned out to be better than we all thought. But at the start of the season,
Yeah, but still, yeah, the division was a hell of a lot better than we thought it was going to be.
right?
But
I mean,
there will be questions about one Trevor Lawrence heading in. If they don't win this game, now you start looking at Trevor Lawrence and saying, what is he?
yeah.
I mean,
Is
you and I have not taken shots at Justin Herbert. We've just pointed out the win-loss record. Everybody's anointed Justin Herbert this great quarterback.
Right.
And he's an elite quarterback in the league. You're going to start a franchise. He's one of the 5 guys you'd start a franchise with today. Well, Trevor Lawrence, not in that conversation yet, but was approaching it.
Mm-hmm.
And this year was his year to jump into that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if anything, Trevor Lawrence, he's been banged up this year, there's no doubt. But he's regressed as well. Now, is it because of the fact that his shoulder's been banged up, his knee's been banged up, his ankle's been banged up? Probably has a lot to do with it.
Yeah, but part of the reason he's banged up are decisions that he's made. I mean, he's not avoided contact when he could have. I mean, the reason his shoulders hurt's absurd. First off, you could argue whether or not he should have been in the game against Tampa at that point in time. But, I mean, there was no reason for him to not throw that ball away. I mean, they're down 30 points, for goodness sakes. And instead, he's going to run for 4 extra yards and dive and lands on his throwing shoulder and now can't play for 1 game and maybe 2. I mean, you know, that's just stupid. There's no other way to say it. It's stupid. Your value to this franchise, throw the damn ball away. Slide. What are you doing? For 4 extra yards? We're down 4 scores. Come on, late third quarter. This isn't 3 minutes left in the game and, you know, 1 score wins. Okay, I get it. I mean, that's a dumb play.
Remember when Baker lowered his shoulder and against who were they playing? He was still with the Browns, of course, but he threw a pick, and then on the pick, like he's trying to make a tackle, and he lowered his shoulder against a linebacker, and it messed up his season.
Listen, he's done it a couple times this year. He doesn't avoid contact either. I love him, but there are times in which you want to go, hey, dude, you're a franchise quarterback. You don't need to take that hit.
Well, not only that, there's a couple times I've seen him jump at the back of a running back and try to, you know, give him the shove that, you know, using his weight to help a running back. It's like, dude, back off.
But you know what's funny, if you will, is we both know a bunch of Bills fans. I've brought this up with, and every Bills fan I bring it up with is like, that's just how Josh Allen plays. You have to deal with it. That's a you problem. I'm like, he's going to get hurt. Come on now. Okay. And they're like, yeah, I don't know what to tell you. He's Superman. That's how he plays. That's how we play. Deal with it. That's how we're going to win a Super Bowl. All right. Him playing like that. So you just got to suck it up. That's a you problem. To review, by the way, we played the how many quarterbacks would Mark Miller take over Tua game off of a text that we received, 21,000 on the text line. And you said you would take 8 quarterbacks over Tua. Dak was not one of them. It's 8 with a qualifier because we looked at the current Jets quarterback situation. If we say the Jets quarterback is Aaron Rodgers, would you take Aaron Rodgers going forward over Tua?
I would.
And that's because you're looking at the Dolphins as like a 2-year window after this one, and you think Rodgers would be a better fit for the window.
I think he'd be a better fit with that offensive line. He gets rid of the ball even faster. I think with those receivers and his arm, come on now, it's Aaron Rodgers.
Okay. So, but based on the way you answered the question, And by the way, you said you would take 2 over Dak. You would take 2 over Purdy.
Correct.
So you take 8 quarterbacks. If Rodgers is 9, then you have Tua as 10. Top 10 quarterback. Worst case scenario in your world, he's a top 12 quarterback. So he's basically in the top third of the league.
That's where I think he is. Do you agree?
I do, but we get a lot still to this day. We get a lot of anti-Tua sentiment. There are a lot of people that believe that Tua is holding the Dolphins back.
And that's what this person, said. My point was an improvement. You're going from a B- to a B+. I don't think you are with Russ. That's my point. I don't think Russ can play. Russ is not a top 12 quarterback in the league.
Now, in fairness, you were never a Russ guy.
Never.
But you're certainly not a Russ guy now. And it will be interesting going forward. I mean, there are a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, and there will be teams who are not going to get their hands on one in this draft. And coaches that are going to need to win next year, because seemingly 6 or more coaches get replaced every year. I mean, like if Atlanta can't get their hands on a quarterback, if you're Atlanta, you bring in Russ. If Washington can't get their hands on a quarterback, do you bring in Russ? You can go to year, I mean, you can. I'm just talking about for 2024. I mean, there are some bad quarterback situations out there. And I would like to think Washington can get their hands on a quarterback with where they're drafting. It looks as if they're going to draft top 3, maybe top 2.
Well, they can definitely get their hands on a quarterback because now, I don't know where Penix is going to get in the mix. Don't know where Daniels is going to get in the mix.
And obviously you got the USC quarterback and the North Carolina quarterback. I read a mock draft just last night. Penix wasn't even in the first round.
I think it's just because of his age.
Which to me, I mean, with all due respect, if you are not putting him in the first round because of his quote age, this isn't a Chris Weinke, Brandon Wheaton situation where he's in his late 20s. I mean, Penix is as old as Trey Lance, though. I mean, somebody pointed out they're like days apart in terms of how old they are, and Lance is just finishing up his 3rd year in the league. Not playing, but he's finishing up his 3rd year in the league.
And Burrow went number 1. I think he was 25 when he got drafted. Does that sound right?
No,
24.
I thought 23, but
okay,
I could look it up.
But that was a situation where
he was a little older. Yes, because he was a guy who spent 5 years in college.
And now we're dealing with all these quarterbacks that have had 6 years with their COVID year and their redshirt year and everything else that's going on. So,
I mean, if you think a guy's a pretty damn good prospect and he's 24, 25, I mean, come on.
Well, they're supposed to play until their mid-30s now.
Right. I mean, still, give me 7-8 years. I'll take 7-8 years. A good, solid quarterback play. I'll take that. I'll probably have a job for most of those 7-8 years. Yeah, I'll take it.
With easily renewable contracts if you've got a competent quarterback. If you're the GM and have a competent quarterback for 8 years.
I mean, do you think I'm going to give a second contract to this guy or not? I mean, that's really all we're trying to get to. Did you see the stat, by the way? Oh, my goodness. I can't believe this is true. The Patriots have not drafted a player in the first 3 rounds since 2013 that has gotten a contract extension. I read it like 4 times.
That's
I'm
jarring.
like, this cannot be true.
10 years, a decade.
Now, I will say, take the last 4 out because you really haven't had to extend any of those contracts. But 2013 through 2018, 2019, that's 6-7 drafts of picks in the first, second, and third round. So we're talking, 16 to 24 players. If they didn't have a lot of picks or if they had a lot of picks.
Easily closer to 24 with the number of third rounders the Patriots have had over the years.
So 20-plus picks, and apparently none of them have garnered a contract extension from the Patriots? No wonder Bill Belichick's getting fired.
Wow, that GM is really letting the coach down there.
And the director of player personnel and director of college scouting. By the way, who runs the Patriots organization?
Bill Belichick.
Thought so. And you do know there's going to be another organization that's going to put him in charge of their organization. With that on a resume. Sell that in a job interview. And Tom Tedesco of the Chargers got fired.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Made, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymade.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymade.com/FTMYERS.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
When choosing something of high value and personal significance, such as a diamond, you want to shop with the best. And the mall is not the place to be. Here are my friends, Jason and Todd with the Diamond District.
Take a stroll in the mall, pop into a few joy stores, and you'll soon discover you're in the wrong place. Rings begin to look all alike. You're not finding GIA certified diamonds. You quickly realize you know more than a salesperson helping you, and all the same financing gets pushed on you.
Visit Jason and me, and you'll find America's top bridal designers dealing exclusively with the Diamond District. You'll find the largest selection of GIA certified diamonds, all priced 8 to 10% over cost. You'll find educated sales consultants who have many years' experience and are not paid commissions.
And you'll find Todd and me in the store nearly every day, wanting to shake your hand and welcome you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
2014, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. 6 years minimum.
Well, 19, because your second and third guys you'd be renewing by now. So
right now, the 2020 guys, the first rounder in 2020 could be on this rookie deal still because next year will be his fifth year.
They didn't have a first round pick in 2020. I've got it up right now.
Okay.
So in 2014,
how many?
JP.
2014, they drafted Dominique Easley.
No. How many in the first three rounds? Just give me numbers.
I don't know. I just
okay.
have first
Well,
round
then fine. Anyway, JP, we're just going through maybe the most amazing NFL stat of the year, that the Patriots have not re-signed one of their draft picks in the first three rounds in 10 years.
It sounds like the Jaguars.
I mean, your guys' drafting wasn't that bad, was it?
We had a stretch where I think Blake Bortles was the only first-round pick they re-signed in like 15 years.
But this is first three rounds, apparently, with the Patriots.
Well, I'd have to think through the Jag. Yeah, it's not great either way. It's not ideal.
Anyway, how are you? Happy New Year.
Just lovely. What a way to start the morning. Happy New Year. It's the whole Larry David says 3 days is enough.
I know. Then that's fine. Then we won't. You know what? Screw you. We'll go the opposite.
Well, he's not hosting the show, and that's okay.
We'll go the opposite. You're trying to be nice. We like
no,
you.
No.
I know you're grumpy because it's 38 degrees or whatever it is. So that's fine.
No, Happy New Year. It's good to see you guys. Good to talk to you guys always, and good to start the year off the right way with Miller and Moulton.
Boy, he flipped that quick. That was like that interview, that Bobby Knight thing where the guy asked the bat, Knight just rips him apart. That's the worst effing question I've ever heard, Bubba. And he asked a question. Knight looks at it and goes, "That is great. You went from that horse blank question to such a really good question. That's a really good transition right there."
I have to admit, you took the semifinal loss really maturely. I mean, it's almost as if you guys have won so much that you were able to go, can't win every year. I mean, you were very mature on Twitch.
I mean, yeah, it's what it is. I mean, they weren't like a spectacular team all year, but they did enough to win, and they figured out how to win all year long after the Texas game, and they pulled a rabbit out of their you-know-what against Auburn.
Yes, they did.
And they won the SEC. Okay, good. Well, that's great. They were very fortunate to be where they were, and Michigan can punch with anybody, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
They are unbelievable and physical and talented in the trenches, and that's what won them the game.
I contend if you take 07 out of the equation, and yesterday, by the way, the anniversary of Nick leaving the Dolphins to come to Alabama. If you take the 07 team out of the equation, 08 through 23, 16 teams, I really believe this year's team was 14th. I think it was only better in the 08 team and the Blake Sims 2014 team. I really don't think this was – even the 3-loss 2010 team had all that talent. They just won the national title, and they were about to win 2 more.
Yeah, think about the receivers. Like Isaiah Bond was fine, right? He had some moments. And then they had Ja'Cory Brooks was supposed to be the guy after the Iron Bowl a couple of years ago, and then he just kind of disappeared. Now he's transferring. I mean, this is not what it was back in like 16, 17 when you had all the receivers. One of them won the Heisman, for goodness sakes. It's unbelievable. So that was different.
All right, we're going to talk Trevor Lawrence. Get ready.
I can't wait.
A lot of pressure. Unbelievable. You know what the problem is? He deals with Pete Prisco all the time. Okay.
All the time.
Okay, so his snark level is actually greater than ours in the morning, because if you deal with Pete Prisco all the time, you wake up at snark, and it just gets worse.
Here we go.
He used to be such a nice guy.
You're listening to Miller and Moulton, only on the Florida Sports Network.
22 minutes before the hour, our final segment of the show, at least along the network, the Diamond District bonus hour awaits for the 239 at the top of the hour. JP Shadrick, kind enough to join us for the first time in 2024. Westwood One play-by-play, college football and the NFL. Also part of the Jags radio network. You can follow JP on Twix at JP Shadrick, Shadrick. I won't wish you a happy new year because Larry David said we can't do it after yesterday. But how the heck are you?
I'm well. Happy New Year. He's not on this show, but it's nice to see you guys and talk to you guys. And here we are, 2024. It's here, and it's another big game for the Jags this week, and a must-win moment. And here we go. It's this is what everybody's been waiting for.
And the guy at the helm, Trevor Lawrence, the guy who really has to get this done. We were just talking about it. This is a year that we thought Trevor Lawrence would take that next step. When you talked about the elite quarterbacks in the league, that Trevor Lawrence would be on that list. After the year he's having, and there's been injuries and he's been banged up, I get it. He's not ascended the way a lot of us thought he would. Why?
Well, let's start with the injuries, right? I mean, he's been on the injury report 4 different times this year. The previous 3, he came back to play the next week and played through injuries and battled through, or coming off the concussion protocol in the 3rd instance. Well, this time's a little different. It's a throwing shoulder, and, they just don't know. So he didn't play last week. And in the media time yesterday, he didn't throw a football in the 20 minutes we were out there. We watched him like hawks, and he was holding a football. He didn't let loose of it. So, all right, that's one thing. Let's see how it goes this week. He was listed as limited. There's been some inconsistencies at receivers. Some guys have been in and out of the lineup. Christian Kirk's been banged up the last month. He might come back this week. Zay Jones with a knee injury and a hamstring injury. And the offensive line is just not really giving him consistent play up front, and especially in the interior. The center and the right guard have left a little to be desired, I think, from a power perspective. I mean, they get pushed a little bit. And then the left tackle's been in and out of the lineup some, and That's been a rotation. So it's just been a revolving door of players coming and going, skill guys, line. And if now there's the trick that if he's out there this week, he could have his full assortment of arsenal of weapons and have everybody back at receiver and the offensive line. It may not be at 100%, but they might all be out there for the first time in a long time, and maybe they can gather some momentum and figure something out going into the playoffs.
Before we get to the Titans game, how significant, if at all, do you think it was that they were able to win a game last week without him? He had not missed a start in his career. Most people thought the Jags really pushed the envelope playing him against Tampa Bay. And then he hurts his shoulder in that game on top of it. So he can't play last week, and they win. Now, yeah, it was a bad team and all that, but they won, JP. They won without him. They never had to play without him before. They won without him. Do you think going forward, he's obviously going to be the guy. He's going to be there 10 more years. Do you think for Doug Peterson and the organization that maybe in the future they can sit him a week when he gets really banged up again?
If you trust your backup, sure. And the game now, you said it. I don't have to say it, but I'm going to say it anyway because you just said it. It was a bad team. It's the worst team in the league, Carolina, right? Okay. So they were supposed to do what they did last week against that kind of a team. And the way they did it was they managed the game on offense. They didn't take unnecessary chances down the field with C.J. Beathard. They ran the football. They tried to get 30 carries in the game. That's what Doug Peterson told me before the game. We want 30. Well, they got 29 by running backs. So, okay, that's pretty good. Check that box. And so they ran the ball. They played solid defense, and they won the game in a big way. Now, going back to the Tampa game, that's a concussion protocol deal, right? So, in theory, if he's cleared, he's cleared. So, if he's cleared, why isn't he playing?
Well, come on, the ankle was still not 100%. He wasn't cleared till the weekend.
Well, the ankle, he had played the weekend before with the ankle.
Right,
and
badly.
Was playing this week with the ankle. And I'm just saying, like, you know, if that's what it is, he's the type of guy. Trevor's the type of guy you have to drag him off this field or have an arm injury, which is what he has right now. And that can be that's a good thing, and it can sometimes maybe get you in a little bit of a pinch if it's not 100%. And that's fine. I'd rather have that than say, giddy up, you know? So that's where they are. I think when it comes down to the biggest game of the year, let's see how today goes. Let's see how Thursday goes. If Trevor's out there throwing it around and comes out of that okay, then that's a good sign. We'll see. But from the team perspective, to just build it up and practice all week long with C.J. Beathard and then switch it at the last second, yeah, it might not have gone as well as they might have hoped a couple weeks ago. So we'll see.
You know, I know it was a bad team, but they did this thing that NFL coaches seem to be afraid of. They kicked field goals and took points when they were there. It's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
But points still seem to count in this league. And it was nice to see with their back up against the wall. And again, it was Carolina, but I'm laughing. 3-0, 6-0, 9-0. Okay, just get the points when they are there. There's nothing wrong with points in this league, JP.
Well, I'll tell you what, I'm sure Doug Peterson was beside himself having to do that because that's not quite what he likes to do a lot of times. But that was the game. I mean, they knew they had it in hand on defense. They knew that Bryce Young wasn't going to carve him up, and they knew they could get to him. And all right, well, let's just add some field goals up, and we know we're running with some backups here and on offense, and let's just get what we can. It gets to 9, then they get a touchdown. Okay, well, now it's game on. So that was the type of game it was. I think that can change considering the circumstances of the game, and that can probably change in game considering the opponent, depending on the week too for Doug Peterson.
JP Shadrick, Westwood One play-by-play of college football and the NFL, part of the Jags Radio Network. Follow him on Twix, Twitter/X at JP Shadrick, Shadrick. All right, the Titans. No love lost between these division rivals. This goes back to when the Jags started their run Last fall, they were 3-6 or 3-7, and they went into Nashville and they beat the Titans, who were the first place team on the verge of winning the division. And they kind of let the Titans know, hey, there's a new sheriff in town, and the Titans didn't like it. Then it came down to the end of the year. Winner wins the division. Jags pulled one out late. Jags whoop them 2 months ago. Now they go to Nashville. You saw Vrabel's press conference yesterday or the day before, in which he was cursing, spitting mad, hates losing, the whole deal. I mean, it's probably Derrick Henry's, Ryan Tannehill's last game in Nashville. I mean, you know, little sentiment involved in this game. This ain't going to be easy.
No, I mean, last year was the first time he won in Nashville in a decade. So, all right. Is it the same Tennessee teams that have been involved in that decade? No. I mean, the offensive line's not great. This is a big week for them. This is a big week for the Jags defensive line to step up and one last time maybe shut down Derrick Henry. You know, don't let him get loose. We know the story with that. You don't want some swan song of him running down the sideline with his drawstrings flapping and his hair thing going behind him. You don't need that. We've got plenty of highlights of that. We don't need any more. So go ahead and stop that. And then, I think I think, and this is just me thinking, there's a feeling that it would be nicer to have Levis out there for the Jaguars than it would be to have Tannehill out there for the Jaguars. Because Tannehill, is a veteran guy, and he's going to, if they get the run going, play action, he's going to be pretty careful with the ball. Levis will give you a couple. That's maybe the feeling. Let's see what goes on with that. But, yeah, I think this Jags team, they haven't played great in big games this year. But those big games have been against some really good opponents too. This is not quite that. So I think they match up better, and I think they can get past themselves and get through this one. This is just play a clean game. Don't turn it over. Don't take unnecessary risks. Get the points and get the win. That's all you got to do.
Yeah, I think, I know they're not Carolina, but I do think it's similar. Pound the running game and get points when you're there. You should be able to limit this team offensively. And you mentioned it, JP. This is as healthy as the Jags have been in what? It's certainly in weeks, if not since darn near the beginning of the season.
Yeah, and let's see. I mean, Christian Kirk was running around yesterday. He wasn't going full speed. We talked to him in the locker room after. It's like, and we'll see how this goes after today. It'd be nice to have him back. However, it's 4 weeks after surgery, after tearing a muscle off his bone in his groin area. I mean, that's like, really? He's back out there even running around. I'd be still on the couch. Like, that's incredible. So that's one thing. And then Zay Jones, getting him back out there, and he's just had an assortment of things going on. And Evan Ingram's been the go-to guy in that whole time. And he's over 100 catches now. He's 12 away from the NFL record for tight ends in a single season. Zach Ertz in 2018 had 116 catches. Well, he's got 104. And we've had big games. We've seen big games from Evan Ingram where he's put up double-digit catches before. And if for some reason those guys go down or aren't up or whatever, then look out. I think it's within it's a possibility.
Adam is our big Jags fan who follows us on Twitch. He has a question about A, is the running game good enough? Can they do it again, second straight week? And B, any thoughts within the organization about picking up Dalvin Cook?
I don't know about Dalvin Cook this late. I don't know about that. And then Travis has been a consistent guy, I think, all year. The problem has been on the line. Like, what Travis is. You know what he can be. He's a much better overall physical style runner this year, and he has the ability to break it away, which he did last week, and he broke tackles 40 yards down the field and ran for that long touchdown, which was fantastic to see. I think their depth has been banged up a little bit. Dearness Johnson has had a knee issue, has been battling through it. And then Tank Bigsby had some drop issues early in the year. And I think he's just now beginning to earn some trust back from the coaching staff. But he's a draft pick, and that goes a long way. So I don't know about right now. I think what it is, they've got to stick with it. And I think they can. They're going to force the issue, I think. Come hell or high water, they're going to run the football because that's what worked last week. And I think that's safe play, especially with the quarterback injuries at wide receiver.
Very quickly, on the disappointment scale, if they lose and miss the playoffs coming off last year and the way this division looked at the beginning of the season, this would be up there, wouldn't it?
What's the scale? Like 1 to 10 or
Yeah.
Yeah. It would be awful. I mean, if they lose 5 of the last 6 and miss the playoffs, we know what Tennessee feels like. That's what happened last year to them. And that would suck.
There you go. JP channeling his inner Mike Vrabel, and we'll stop it now before he starts cursing, because Vrabel answered it cleanly, and then he doubled down. JP, thanks. Safe travels, all that, and let us know your next Westwood One broadcast, okay?
All right, guys. Always good to talk to you, and Happy New Year, gentlemen.
Happy New Year to you too, JP. If he doesn't want to say it, that's on him.
That's on him. I agree.
JP Shadrick, Westwood One, the Jags. Follow him, JP Shadrick, Shadrick. Larry David was on to something. We're close. We're close. I do think, though, first visit of the new year, I think, a Happy New Year.
I think you can say it till at least the 15th of the month. Every time I see someone for the first time, I say Happy New Year.
Really?
Yeah. I say it to strangers. Open the door. Happy New Year. What the hell? Put a smile on someone's face. Why do you always want to be so negative all the time?
Because when I think of you, I think a guy who always wants to put a smile on someone's face. I think once you get past this weekend, it's like, come on, give me a break. So I'll grant you through the weekend. I'll give you a full week. But come on. By Monday, the 8th, really? Happy New Year?
Absolutely.
I'm good with 2 weeks. Come on.
Well, I have to admit, Mr. Happy Joy.
He brings a lot of joy to the show, David.
He does.
He's glass half full all the time.
Which I have no idea how you were able to recruit him to be a part of this show. I really don't. Thanks, JP. Miller and Moulton.
Wishing everybody a Happy New Year.
On January 4th, we would like to officially wish everyone a Happy New Year.
You know what? That should be a poll question.
Let me tell you, Mark was yelling at me and Trent at 5:59 about, we haven't had the meetings for the poll questions like we said we were gonna. All right. And that's why I told you I didn't want to do this. All right, you guys, and don't you after 7:00 on the air say, this should be a poll question. So for 3 hours, I haven't said a word about poll questions. Who violates the rule?
We're 0 for 2.
Mark Miller violates the rule. That's who.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung has successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida for over 30 years. As a former prosecutor, the information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, a criminal matter, or involved in an auto accident, call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung. I'm a local attorney with local knowledge to assist you through the process. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Offices in Fort Worth.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other, with a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. A team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
Hello, friends and family of Southwest Florida. Are you looking to tap into the electric vehicle market? Well, look no further, because we here at Southwest Florida Golf Carts have just what you need. E-bikes, golf carts, LSVs, scooters, and more. Come down and talk with one of our experienced sales reps, have a soda and a smile, and you could be cruising the streets in your new EV today. Stop by the store or visit our website at flgolfcarts.com and enter for a chance to win $100 off your next purchase by answering John's monthly sports question.
Mark Miller for Molly Maid. Why Molly Maid, you ask? Trust. Moulton was a customer for 15 years. Affordability. Didn't I just say Moulton was a customer for 15 years? Worry-free services. Our professional house cleaners are fully insured and a 24-hour warranty. Call Molly Maids today at 239-774-5839. That's 239-774-5839 or online at mollymaid.com/FTMYERS. That's mollymaid.com/FTMYERS.
The waterways of Naples are a beauty to behold, and the Bayfront Inn has multiple ways for guests to enjoy the water and have some fun. Gather your family and friends and enjoy a leisurely day on the water with a pontoon or deck boat. If you prefer to explore the waterways without a motor, the Bayfront has canoes, standboards, and kayaks. At the end of your journey, enjoy lunch or dinner at the Bamboo Tropical Bar and Grill. The Bayfront Inn. Something for everyone. On 5th Avenue in Naples.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Mike Evans, the only Tampa Bay Buck.
Mm-hmm. What in the absolute hell is going on with this computer today?
Purdy, Stafford, and Dak in the NFC. The quarterbacks. Then ESPN has an article about who got snubbed and who should they replace. And this guy says Josh Allen to replace Tua.
Look at the skinny Casio.
I know.
I hate him.
No, Winfield didn't make the Pro Bowl.
First alternate.
He'll be in it. I mean, half the guys selected won't play in it.
Well, you got to remember now it's the Pro Bowl games. Who's going to win the catch contest?
What a joke.
Who's going to win dodgeball?
Although, would you play in the Pro Bowl?
No.
For the amount of money that they pay you?
Of course not.
Would you risk injury? And you want to give him a game check?
Who did Lee pick in the semifinals?
Boy, I got it written down somewhere.
Bama, and I thought he took Washington.
Did we post them 2 weeks ago when he made them?
Not Chris's, but your guys's.
I mean, not Lee's.
Or Lee Sterling, yeah. Okay, here we go.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton, exclusively on the Florida Sports Network. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
It is the Diamond District bonus hour on this first Thursday of 2024. Apparently, we're wishing everybody still a Happy New Year here on Miller and Moulton, the Florida Sports Network, floridasportsnetwork.com. Isn't that right, Mark?
Happy New Year, David.
Happy New Year to you. So one thing we did not touch on the show today is the Pro Bowl, and that's because we think it's a joke.
It is a joke.
The Pro Bowl games, not the Pro Bowl. I mean, you gotta say it right.
Is this like the X Games? Is this
Yes,
like the...
Actually, it is. It's more like the X Games than it is a football game, David.
Listen, I don't watch exhibition football, and I haven't watched the Pro Bowl in forever. I will say there was a time in my life in which I watched the Pro Bowl because my team was bad, much like the baseball all-star game 40 plus years ago. My team was bad. I would watch the game until the guy on my team or two guys on my team got in to see what they did. I would do that with the Pro Bowl. But as I was approaching my 20s, my team got decent. And so, I stopped watching the Pro Bowl. That's how long I haven't watched the Pro Bowl.
I don't know if I've watched the Pro Bowl since we've been working together.
And that's the summer of 06.
I mean, I'm sure in that time it's been turned on.
Right. Background noise or what have you.
But you and I, a long time ago, were saying they needed to do something. I mean, before they realized they needed to do something with it,
we knew it was coming. We knew it was coming. It was kind of like bowl games. We knew it was coming before Fournette and McCaffrey. We knew it was coming. The same with the Pro Bowl. We're like, they're not going to. Well, I mean, hell, with Robert Edwards on the sand in Hawaii in the late 90s when he blew out his knee. I was surprised the game actually lasted as long as it did as a decent television show.
The problem is that you just got into the great phrase there, a decent television show. Even though it was a bad television show, people still watch bad television shows.
If there's a helmet and shoulder pads associated with it, yes.
Because it was doing 7-8 million viewers. So How do you, as a league, look at that and go, we're drawing more than most every other sports finals games or certainly playoff games. And we do it for an exhibition Pro Bowl game. Why would we turn this off?
I mean, it was part of the TV contract, and ESPN proudly bid for it. We're like, yeah, we'll put something on our air that gets 7-8 million viewers. Damn right we will.
In fact, it's the only thing in the NFL that's actually gone backward from a standpoint of watchability. I mean, the draft now is 3 days, and we watch it intently every single damn day that it's on, every minute that it's on. They do an hour special on the schedule release that gets more viewers than most shows that are aired on ESPN.
So they did the Pro Bowl selections yesterday. The Dolphins got a bunch of them.
Yes, they did.
What did they get? 6? Something like that?
I think, 5 starters, 4 starters, and a couple reserves?
And 5 on offense, including Tua. The quarterbacks in the AFC were Lamar, Mahomes, and Tua. Tua gets selected over Josh Allen. Now, Josh does lead the league in interceptions, I think, with 16. But you throw in his rushing stats, and if you're into analytics, his QBR is better than Tua's. His QBR is top 5 in the league.
He's better than Tua.
Well, he is.
Yeah.
But was he better this year? That's interesting.
It's
I mean,
close.
The players voted.
Right.
I mean, it's... And in some cases, it's a popularity contest / I vote for that guy every year. I mean, Teron Armstead got a Pro Bowl selection. He's played 9 games.
He doesn't deserve one.
He's only played 3 games 100%. I mean, he's missed over half the season, basically, in terms of total snaps. I mean,
For what it's worth, he's not starting. So he's there, but he's not.
But to be voted in,
Oh, I'm with
that's
you. I'm just throwing that out there.
that seems a little absurd to me. The Bucs got Mike Evans in.
and that's it. You know, no one else. A lot of people thought Winfield should have gotten in, and he's what?
He's the first reserve, I believe.
The first reserve's a lock to play. Right?
Absolutely.
Hell, remember fifth alternate at quarterback got in last year. Huntley of the Ravens got in as a Pro Bowl quarterback last year. He threw 2 touchdowns. I mean, that's how far down the depth chart we went. Yeah, I mean, half these guys at least will not show up for the games, skills competition, whatever the heck it is now. But Niners had like 8, 9 guys. Not Brandon Ayuk, though. And people were like, ooh, really? Well, I mean, you know, how many guys can you put in?
Yeah, how many receivers can you put in? There's a Jefferson guy that I know of that's pretty good. I mean, there's a...
Well, and Puka made it. And that's actually like, you know, people, I give them credit. It's easy to say, oh, I can't believe so-and-so didn't make it. Well, okay, who are you going to put in
Start
its
listing
place?
guys. And
Right. Now, I give ESPN credit. They did an article like the guy said, I'd put Josh Allen in over Tua. I feel he's a better player. And actually, when you take his running into account, I think he's had a better year. Fair enough. You know, he would have put Ayuk in over Puka.
Would you have put St. Brown in over Puka? Because St. Brown's the first alternate for receivers, or second alternate, excuse me.
I don't know. I don't know.
Close,
I mean, I paid a lot of attention to St. Brown this year. He was my first overall draft pick in fantasy, so I know his numbers pretty well. And he had a lull in the middle of the year. But so did Puka when Cooper Kupp came back for the first time.
Right.
So it's really close.
That's a classic example for me of what David was talking about. Like off the rip, I was like, oh, St. Brown's not a Pro Bowler, but then you look at the list.
And also there are limited spots. You realize, oh, wow. I mean, like with quarterback, very quickly in the NFC, it was Dak, it was Purdy, and it was Stafford who were the Pro Bowl quarterbacks. So no Jalen Hurts. Never mind if you thought anybody else should have been a Pro Bowl quarterback. So, and fans get bent out of shape about a lot of things. Dolphins got a lot. Bucs only had the one. You know, if you're on a
Jags
team,
had 2. One was a long snapper. And their Josh Allen, the defensive player, was a Pro Bowler.
You know, the Jets went like 5 consecutive years without a Pro Bowler. They had 2. They had Gardner and Quinnen Williams. But it does suck when you root for a team like Washington, 0. New England, 0. I know. Carolina, 0. It sucks, though. Wow, we don't have one guy. One guy who can't get invited to a skills competition.
It is somewhat of a measuring stick. It's a meaningless award. I think like I shouldn't say meaningless, but all pro is what you really look at.
Well,
right?
yeah.
Because that's, like you said, Pro Bowl, you have all the opt-outs. But even with the opt-outs, if you don't have a guy, and that's quite a measuring stick to look at your team.
Well, and let's be honest. Now you see whether or not, how bad do we suck? Once half the team starts opting out, will one of our guys get selected?
I like that they don't do a baseball version of it, though. That every team
Everyone
gets one
has to
rep.
have a rep.
I don't think that's when you have this many teams. I don't think you need to put someone in from every team.
Plus, then how many Niners would get the shaft if you had to put every single NFC team in the Pro Bowl? It wouldn't just be Ayuk. It would be Ayuk and an O-lineman and a defensive player. And
Right, because then you're searching for the player to put in.
So there you go. It was a topic we hadn't addressed. All right. But yeah, the list came out. You know, Laramie Tunsil. I do that for you, Mark. Laramie Tunsil, the only Texans Pro Bowler. I mean, they did acquire a good player. They gave up a lot.
Way too much.
And paid him a lot of money. But, all right, Stroud does have a decent amount of time to throw. I mean, I think he has the 3rd highest time to throw in the league.
And Stroud's going to win Offensive Rookie of the Year. Right?
You think?
I think.
Is Puka a rookie or no?
Yes.
So is Laporta. Those are the top 3. But the only reason I bring that up is I just find it interesting because And I think that's the right call, but Stroud isn't a Pro Bowler. Puka and Laporta are. But Stroud will probably win offensive. It's like the weird transitive property of this.
Stroud won it if he played in every game. The fact that he missed a couple games, I think, gives Puka a shot.
Well, and does Stroud have to win the final game?
I think, well, not necessarily. I think the fact that
Playoffs?
he's playing the last game for a playoff spot, from what our expectations were of Houston, I think he's going to win it.
By the way, the Packers didn't have a Pro Bowler.
Huh.
Youngest team in the league. A win Sunday and they're in. It's unusual to have a playoff team without a Pro Bowler.
Good for Matt LaFleur.
So, and you got to figure going forward, they'll have some of those young guys will grow into it. I think Christian Watson will play in a Pro Bowl.
I love Jaden Reed. He has the most, I think he's got the most receptions in the last 3 weeks or something like that.
Now they got like 5 alternates, so they could end up with 6 guys in the damn game.
There'll be some cheeseheads in that crowd somewhere.
Does Josh Allen, if he loses this week and misses the playoffs, does he show up at the games as an alternate?
Oh, look at you.
That's a great question. Poll question.
See, there you go. We're just rattling them off.
I don't think there's enough money in it when you're making $50 million a year. I mean, is it?
Where is it though? Is it in Hawaii?
It's in Orlando, right?
I think it's Orlando.
We should go.
Because I thought that Hawaii stadium got condemned.
Yeah.
I don't think it's like, structurally sound.
No, I think you're right. I'm living in 2007 over here.
So there you go. The Pro Bowl. Trust me, a lot of people out there that will watch. Then even though it's not a game anymore, it's a skills competition, although it is listed as a games.
The Pro Bowl games now. There's a catch contest. It's like a dunk contest, but they do catching. And they have this big giant, it's like when you pole vault, and they've got the big mat out there. They do that. You jump off a trampoline and you catch the ball.
Battle of the Network Stars? Is this the Superstars competition from back in the day?
Might as well be.
Got to admit, I loved that. I was
just for the tracksuits all by themselves.
I was the short shorts, right? Although the epic Steelers Vikings tug of war
that never ended,
right? Grown men sat in that pit for like 6 hours in the baking sun. Also, that they could get a kiss from Suzanne Summers. I mean, honestly, what were they competing for again?
Do you even imagine something like that today?
No. I have to admit, I'd be more interested if the two teams who played in the Super Bowl did a tug of war than I would for the Pro Bowl games. That would interest me. A week after the game, all right, we're having a tug of war, 4:00 Sunday. Be there. Y'all get $25,000. 3 days in Disney with your wives and girlfriends. You choose. I said that out loud, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Miller and Moulton.
Located on the East Trail, locally owned Naples Tiki Bar and Grill is an outdoor eatery next to the Hitching Post Shopping Center. Island-inspired food with a true tiki theme. The best place in Naples to enjoy the beautiful weather in Southwest Florida. The Naples Tiki Bar and Grill offers a great menu for dine-in or takeout. Enjoy our famous pulled pork, huge burgers, and tiki bar cocktails. Don't miss happy hour every day from 3 to 6 and live music 7 days a week. See you soon at the Naples Tiki Bar and Grill, 11498 Tamiami Trail East.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
20 years ago, Jason and I had the idea for a jewelry store like no other. With a vast selection of certified diamonds priced 8 to 12% over cost. a team of individuals who are educated, driven, and believe in cultivating relationships.
Today, we have become one of the largest independent jewelry stores in the country. Todd and I love what we do and are in the store nearly every day, along with our GIA gemologists, master jewelers, custom designers, and non-commissioned diamond consultants, all of which we consider family.
As direct diamond importers, we travel the world, forging relationships and sourcing diamonds. What we love most about our business is that we can call Southwest Florida our home.
If selection, value, and comfort are important to you, give the Diamond District an opportunity. You won't find a better diamond buying experience. Todd and I look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
At the Diamond District.
You were listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
This is just Stafford's second Pro Bowl, by the way.
Yeah. During his time in Detroit, the quarterbacks were pretty good in the NFC.
Yeah, it was Breeze, Rodgers.
Who are we talking about? Stafford?
Yes. I know David can't hear me, but
Yeah, Stafford's second Pro Bowl. Just his second Pro Bowl. But all those years in the NFC, even when he had some really good statistical years, it's dealing with different quarterbacks.
Rodgers.
Russ.
Breeze, Matt Ryan.
Russ, Breeze. Matt Ryan.
Jimmy G towards the end.
I don't know if Jimmy G was ever a Pro Bowler, though, was he?
I think he had to have been at least once. Hold on, let me look. You might be right. I have no pulse on these things. No, he never was. You're right.
Cam.
Yeah, Cam.
Ooh, that's a good one. I mean, I'm sure Dak made it some of those years over Stafford. Wentz had that hot year.
Yeah.
So it's just it's you're right. It speaks more to the NFC quarterbacks as a whole, but I just find that interesting. Here we go.
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
The Diamond District bonus hour at 21 minutes past that hour. Good, bad, and ugly. What's on tap? Today was the day when, along with some final thoughts and a prediction or two coming up. The three of us in the same locale for the first time ever. I'm back in the 239 to broadcast an FGCU game tonight. Only I'll be doing it for Jacksonville.
Have you figured out what you're going to wear yet?
I'm going to go neutral, I think.
Boo.
Or I'm going to wear a Jacksonville sweatshirt. They got me a sweatshirt. I don't know if I'm going to wear the golf shirt. All right.
Well, is it chilly in there?
I don't know. I've always broadcast in there with a shirt and a tie and a sport coat on. So I don't know. Plus I'm fat, so I never get cold. So I was just going to go neutral.
So what is neutral? Just a solid color?
Just not wear the Jacksonville University stuff.
Right, but
okay,
but
what?
you bring?
I mean, you can't wear blue or green then.
No.
Neutral means you're wearing red.
Because
JU's green and.
Well, I mean, I could wear what I have on now.
I suppose. Not very professional.
Here we go. It's radio,
You are a part of that university for tonight.
I am.
You are the conduit for that university broadcasting the games. And
I am.
How you walk into that building says a lot about you and that university.
I could walk in like Ric Flair I mean, how do you want me to walk into the building? Okay. Want me to walk in like Snoop?
I don't know if that'd be good for the broadcast.
I was thinking more of the walk, not.
Okay. The walk usually comes with something.
I could imitate the walk. I don't know if I want to imitate the rest.
We can help you if you need to.
You know a guy? We all
something
know
like that.
Right.
But I just think, and again, I want you to wear the JU stuff in. Do an Eli double bird to the whole FGCU crowd. Point to the logo on your shirt.
AB leaving the Jets game.
Yes. Sit down, turn around, and broadcast the game.
I was just thinking maybe just show up, just do the game, leave, kind of, that's all. But
Trent and I may show up and heckle you.
Why? Why are you going to heckle me? What did I do to deserve to be heckled?
It's fun. That's why.
I mean, how many radio announcers have you heckled in your young life? I mean, do you show up at Lions and Michigan State games and just start heckling the broadcaster?
No, but along those same lines, my proudest moment as a Lions fan was we went down for warm-ups one time, and my brother and I were just screaming at Aaron Rodgers, and he looked up at us. Because it was we were in the sea of Packers fans, and this was shortly after his whole immunized thing. So we were just screaming immunized at him, and he looked up. So we heckled him. If I can heckle Aaron Rodgers, I can heckle anybody.
I was a little younger than Trent, and I did a similar thing at a Wings Blackhawks game. And we had great seats, a buddy of mine, and I am just berating Chris Chelios after the game.
And of course, the great irony of who he ends up finishing his career with.
But he did kind of look. And after then working in pro hockey, I go on to work in minor pro hockey for a dozen or so years. And then hearing the players after the game talk about the fans heckling them, players are aware, and they some find it to be a pain. Most find it to be really amusing. If they come up with something good. And I've always thought that, Aaron Rodgers in that case, or Chelios going back you should have seen this fat guy giving it to me in the 7th row. He was really honked off today.
Now, here's the thing, though. I'm probably only going to hear, the headsets really only pick up you, if you know what I mean. They don't really pick up, even if you're sitting 4 feet behind me, which you could be.
All right, but what I would wait for is a JU free throw, or an FGCU free throw. Building gets quiet, and then I would do something like, "Hey, Moulton, what's the poll question?"
That's great.
It would be funny if that came over the air. I don't know. Do I have to recognize that, or do I just, pretend as if that never happened? People listening on 1010 XL back in Jacksonville are like, what the heck? And who is this guy again?
Hey, Moulton, where's the Christmas letter?
That'll be great. That'll be fantastic.
Or just I'll wish you a happy new year. I'll do that.
I'm going to take pictures of the two of you on my phone. And when I get to Alico Arena, I'm going to say, don't let these two in.
We're on the
here.
do not
I'll
let
give you
in
the
list.
$20 right now as if they're here. Just to deny them admission.
Wow.
They're wanted.
I see where you're at with this. And I don't blame you.
Listen, I'm by myself, no analyst. All right. Commercial breaks
You
are
don't have an
short.
analyst?
No, I do not have an analyst.
Do you want one?
No.
I'll do it for free.
I know you will, because you're damn near doing it now.
I do appreciate the effort, though, Trent. That's very good.
Oh.
Especially when he says something and then I go, "Hey, you really have excited there tonight." That would not go over.
No,
well.
it wouldn't.
It'd be like Bill Walton.
Very
but
quick
worse.
story, though. So first game I did this year for Jacksonville, I was told I was going to be alone. And it's the only home game. The longtime radio voice, Scott Manzi, left mid-season, but he's staying in town. And so he's like, listen, I'd like to finish out the year and do the home games. And so, they're like, yeah, sure. So they need somebody to do road games. And they reached out to me, and I said, yeah, sure, I'll do them. And the one home game, though, I had to do, and they said, listen, you're going to be alone for all the games. Okay. And so I'm setting up, and I'm midway through the pregame show. It's only a 15-minute pregame show, but I'm midway through it. And all of a sudden, Artist Gilmore comes over and sits down. Where's my headset?
Oh. And he is a JU alum and their color analyst for many years.
Right. And basically, Artist comes and goes as he pleases. But they were under the belief that Artist was not going to be there that night. And he showed up 5 minutes before tip. Want to know where his headset was? It's right here, sir. Sorry about that.
And then he proceeded to call you the wrong name.
No. The game I did with him last year, he called me Scott.
Oh, that was a different time.
Right. But
Okay.
the women, I did a women's game with them, and they had been struggling, and they were winning. And he realized in the fourth quarter, he goes, oh, wow, I've been calling you Scott the whole time. And he says it on the air. And I go, Artists, they're winning. I don't mess with the win. You call me Scott the rest of the game. And he laughed. And so, and he called me David. I said, Artists, the visiting team has just gone on a 7-0 run because you called me David. Could you please go back to calling me Scott? And the women ended up winning in overtime. And so, I said,
how is it standing next to someone that big?
Oh my goodness. I feel so badly. He's sitting next to me. He's on, just a regular chair. He's 7'3".
Right.
Yeah. He is a huge man. Nice, really nice man. All right. Love when I get him to tell stories, about playing in the 70s, the 80s, it's awesome. But oh yeah, huge. And of course, we don't have guys who play like him anymore.
He's probably the Bulls' all-time starting 5 center, right?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the only other argument would be Joakim Noah, but it's not.
No.
Well, that's why I say that's the only other argument. There's no one else.
There's only one center in the Hall of Fame.
Artists.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm. So I told him he broke my heart as a Knicks fan. He went into the Garden and absolutely just eliminated him from the playoffs. He chuckled. He goes, I remember that night. Oh, yeah, I do too.
So that was a great night for him.
So, but yeah, I'll be And one other quick anecdote. So Artis sits down to do the game, and the coach had given me the starting 5, and he puts out 5 entirely different players. Welcome to the broadcast.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
Hey y'all, it's Ben Allen. When it comes to singing and performing live shows, I'm in my comfort zone. When it comes to wanting to surprise my wife with diamonds, I'm a bit lost. That's why I go see my friends Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. Jason and Todd helped me blow my wife away when we got engaged, and I've been applauding them ever since. If you're in the market for diamonds this holiday season, Southwest Florida has been giving Jason and Todd a standing ovation for over 20 years. Go see them and let Jason and Todd know that Ben Allen sent you.
Thanks, Ben. We're proud of you and your accomplishments and thrilled that you are part of our Diamond District family.
This holiday season, visit Jason and me at the Diamond District. We look forward to shaking your hand and welcoming you to our Diamond District family.
Visit Jason and Todd at the Diamond District.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims, and auto accidents. I'm a former prosecutor with over 34 years of experience. The information I know is information you need to know. If you've been arrested for a DUI, time is of the essence to maintain your driving privileges. Call the law firm of Michael F. Hornung for a free consultation. At the law firm of Michael F. Hornung, we are committed to excellence in your representation. Being a local attorney with local knowledge is clutch to the success of your case. For over 30 years, we have successfully represented the citizens of Southwest Florida. For a free consultation, call 239-437-0095. That's 239-437-0095. Our offices are conveniently located in Fort Myers. Visit online at mfh-law.com.
You are listening to Miller and Moulton on the Florida Sports Network.
Because obviously it was a game they were interested in, so they watched. Yeah. Yeah. The A-Sun, CBS Sportsnet, a few others chose him over me to do games. Mm-hmm. Yep.
So the A-Sun determines who the broadcasters are?
Well, they were recommending. It all goes back to the column. I got totally blackballed because of that column from 2013. It was a great lead line, though. The A-Sun is dead. They just don't know it yet. Man, that's a good lead.
It's a good lead.
It's a good lead. So Spitz, he did. And when they won, I get him on the post game and I go, hey, I know I'm new. And so, there's probably a trust factor involved. But I went to practice yesterday. We talked. I asked you who the starters were. You checked them off. I show up, the pregame notes. They got the same 5 guys. I go, Artis and I are getting ready for the broadcast. I do who the starting lineup is. And you send 5 totally different players out there. He starts laughing. He goes, in all fairness, I just decided 20 minutes before the game I was going to shake things up. He goes, I literally was telling the players in the locker room, okay, it's going to be you. He goes, and trust me, the 5 who weren't starting had the same look on their face that you did.
So when are we going to get the when's the list coming out, the Epstein list?
I don't know.
Ask Aaron.
Here's my question. Is everyone on the list having partaken? Or, is there a way to be on the list and be innocent? No. Come on now. That's an important question.
Did you just go to the island and not sleep with women?
Well, did you bring your wife? For all I know, I mean, what is the? Is it possible?
It's possible.
Is it possible? And I would like to hear from someone who goes, all right, let me explain how it went down. That's all. I'm just curious. saying Rogers going after Jimmy Kimmel. That's reckless.
It's really reckless.
That's not nice.
Oh,
that's not nice. I don't blame Kimmel for being pissed off. Boy, Jeff Pearlman on Twitter yesterday goes after Aaron Rodgers. Holy blank.
Really?
Destroys him, tells a true story about, I guess he wrote a book on Favre and he wanted Rodgers to be, interviewed, and Rodgers and his people gave him the runaround, and he was never interviewed in the book. And then after the book came out, Rodgers lied about something that's in the book that's 100% factual. All right, Perlman said. And then Perlman ends the tweet by saying, there's a reason his family doesn't talk to him.
Well, I've always held it against Patrick Reed. How do I not hold it against Aaron Rodgers?
Yeah.
And it's not even the parents. It's the brother. It's the siblings.
Yeah, I don't get it. I mean, I'm an only child and what have you, but.
Well, also, just what a miserable way to live, to just not talk to your family and hate your family and your family hates you. Like, come on.
Buddy of mine says you guys should yell, "Hey, Moulton, Happy New Year." That's funny.
What's your New Year's resolution?
I hope 40 people walk up to you tonight and wish you a Happy New Year.
I don't know if 40 people there will even know who I am.
Oh, come on now. Now, 40 people to know who you are and listen to this show. That
I completely forgot to tell you guys this real quick because we're coming back in 20 seconds. But one of my roommate's friends came over last night. We're all, sitting around watching sports, whatever. And then he asked what I do for a living. I was like this, He's like, "Oh, what show?" And I said, "Miller and Moulton." He freaked out. Apparently you guys gave him Everblades tickets or something when he was a kid. I don't know. But I was like, "Oh yeah, that's what I do."
Welcome to the bonus hour, brought to you by Jason and Todd at the Diamond District. And now, here's Mark Miller and David Moulton.
22 minutes until the top of the hour. The Diamond District bonus hour, final segment of the day. We'll have a football Friday tomorrow.
$20 as you walk in the Diamond District right now. Someone's going to say Happy New Year.
Well, then I'm not going. All right. It's the 4th. Come on. Let's move along. I didn't realize I had Larry David in me. Okay. I'm okay with this week. I am. I just, but you two want to do it all the way to like the 15th.
The 15th.
Well, the first time you see somebody.
You don't.
And if you don't see him within 2 weeks, then you don't see him regularly, and therefore you don't have to wish him a Happy New Year.
Got to see him this week. Okay. By next week. I mean, come on. We've moved on. The NFL playoffs are underway. I mean, really, come on. We've moved on.
Happy New Year from Miller and Moulton out there. If you haven't heard it from anybody else, I want you to hear it from us.
There you go. That's a buddy of mine just texted. If you two are going to go to the game and heckle me, which I know you're not, they said that you should sit behind me and you should go, "Hey, Moulton, Happy New Year." That would be funny. I'd start laughing.
I want an over-under. I'm going to put it at 12.5 of people that walk up to you tonight at the game, because I know they listen over there. I'm going to put the over-under at 12.5 for people that say Happy New Year to you when you go to the arena tonight.
I'm going under.
I'll take the over.
I'm going to bet big on the over.
I won't lie. You know me. I'll keep track. I'll let you know if you're right. I'm going under.
Because it'll get contagious once a couple people hear it. In fact, I'll probably take the game in. The odds are I'll take the game in on ESPN Plus. You want to do me and Trent a favor? Have a sign that says Happy New Year, David. And if you could see the disgust of one man's face right now.
If you're going to do it, please make it David and not Dave. Please, I beg of you. I beg of you.
It's time for someone to take back this segment, if for no other reason than to stop David from talking about Meghan and Harry. Here's Mark Miller with Today Was the Day When.
I really don't have a lot today. Today was a pretty boring day, unless I've missed something. I start in 1970. Championship games. Chiefs beat the Raiders. Vikings beat the Browns.
Chiefs had knocked off Namath and the Jets the week before. That was the last playoff game for Namath and the Jets. It was just a 2-year run.
76, the Steelers beat the Raiders, and the Cowboys thumped the Rams.
I think that was the only road win in the Steelers-Raiders 70s playoff series. I think that was the AFC title game that Pittsburgh went to Oakland and beat them. The home teams dominated that playoff series.
1982, Brian Gumbel becomes the co-host of the Today Show.
That was a big deal.
It was a really big deal.
Replace this Brokaw guy.
Mm-hmm. 1983, the Eurythmics released Sweet Dreams.
It was also a big deal.
Still plays, by the way.
Yeah, it does.
Her voice was terrific then. It's terrific now.
Yep.
1984, a couple of things. The highest scoring modern NHL game had Edmonton beat Minnesota 12-8. And that night, an NBC Night Court premieres.
And now it's back.
I know.
I haven't seen it. I love the characters. I mean, the actors that are in it.
Laura Kett's character in that's so good. I mean, just to continue that would be fantastic. Today in 86, Eric Dickerson sets a postseason record rushing for 248 yards and a 20-0 win for the Rams over Dallas.
That was Landry's last playoff game with the Cowboys. He would coach 3 more years. They never made the playoffs.
Today in 99, the first BCS national championship. Tennessee 23, Florida State 16.
Florida State ended up playing a wide receiver at quarterback. They had so many injuries at quarterback.
Also today in 99, David, big for you, maybe no one else, because you reference it often on this show. Today in 1999, Jesse Ventura was sworn in as governor of the great state of Minnesota.
He ran an amazing campaign. He really did. It was hysterical to the rest of the country, and I even found it funny.
He's the one that was in Predator, right? He's in the Predator movie. Jesse Ventura.
Yeah.
Huge jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I just want to make sure I'm thinking of the same guy. That guy was the governor of...
Former wrestler. I think
Yeah.
he was a professional wrestler.
Okay, all right.
I nearly got fired on the main sports guy at the CBS in Fargo. And for the day after he won. And I would go, Governor Ventura, and just start laughing. And I worked him into the sportscast like 5 different times and just started laughing all 5 times. Oh, man. And people who voted for him called in. They're not happy.
Today in 2000, Mark Cuban buys the Mavs. And Bill Belichick resigns as the head coach of the Jets and moves to take over the New England Patriots.
It lasted so long. It was such a glorious era there with the Jets. A day.
Isaac Newton, Louis Braille, Don Shula, and Floyd Patterson all born today. REM lead singer Michael Stipe is 64, and Derrick Henry's 30. What did I miss, David? I felt like I missed a lot today.
The GM announced its electric car today in 96. So it says they will build an electric car dubbed the EV1, and they debuted it later in the year. So there's a little this, a little that. Utah entered the Union today in 1896.
Happy birthday, Utah.
Yeah.
The story is Utah.
And remember Newt and the contract with America? The Republicans took control of Congress today for the first time in 40 years back in 95. I'll never forget Russert's on the Today Show on Election Day in 94. And they go, so how's it going to go today? And he said, I want you guys to just listen to this. Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich. And the commentators start laughing. And he goes, I'm telling you, it's going to happen. And sure enough, 12 hours later, Speaker of the House, Newt Gingrich.
You've heard folks elsewhere mock Florida is gonna Florida. Well, Mark Miller sees it differently. He calls it the good, the bad, and the ugly. What you got, Mark?
We go to Berlin for the good. They had leftover Christmas trees, and they donated them all to the Berlin Zoo, and now elephants and bison are munching on the unused trees.
Is that a problem?
No, it's good. Good.
Okay.
I mean,
Good.
better than burning them or throwing them away. A meal for an elephant. For the bad, we go to Spring Hill, Florida, where Kelly Figueroa was hammering down stakes on her property in preparation to install a fence. She'd been involved in several incidents with her neighborhood in an ongoing property line dispute. When she was placing the stakes in her backyard, her neighbor approached her and pushed her. The 58-year-old went all hammer on her neighbor. Never push a woman with a hammer.
No, I don't think it's a good idea to push a woman, period.
Figueroa was charged with aggravated battery with a deadly weapon and was released from jail after posting bond. And finally, the ugly, we go to Australia, where man was fishing near a crocodile, which sounds like a bad idea to me. But he'd been fishing there for about 4 hours, and he saw the croc approaching the boat. He moved to the back of the vessel and started the engine. That's when the croc swum under the boat, turned, and launched itself onto the vessel.
Wow.
The angler would then jump over the crocodile to haul in his anchor. At that point, the reptile fell back into the water when it attempted to pivot its body. The croc bent the rails off the boat as it fell. Fortunately, the fisherman is fine. That is the good, the bad, and the ugly. On today, January the 4th, 2024. And if you haven't heard it yet, Happy New Year.
13 games in the NHL tonight. Lightning in Minnesota to face the Wild. Panthers and Vegas, a Cup Finals rematch. Florida won the first meeting a week or so ago in South Florida. So Vegas with a chance for a little payback. The ESPN hockey broadcast tonight is 7 o'clock. It's Penguins at Bruins. Just 2 games in the NBA. They're both on TNT. Milwaukee and the Spurs early. Just can't get enough Wemby.
No, and he's upset about his minutes restriction.
Suck it up, dude. Gonna have a long career.
What do you guys honest question? What's up with Popovich? How much longer does he coach?
I have always thought Popovich is taking the losses because his resume can handle it. And that now this group that they're putting together, and once they start to get good, he's going to hand it off to whoever he's going to hand it off to. I've always thought he was going to hand it off to Becky Hammond.
That would be awesome.
And that he said to Becky, listen, this is going to be a while. It's not going to be short, so you might as well go do your aces thing and what have you, and you could always come back.
Boy, is she doing the aces thing, by the way.
Yeah, she is. Back-to-back titles. So Milwaukee and the Spurs in San Antonio, 7:30 TNT. Denver Golden State at 10. Warriors, like the Lakers, are below 500. Just saying. College hoops tonight. There's a Big Ten doubleheader. Penn State, Michigan State at 7. Minnesota, Michigan at 9. It's not on FS1. It's not on the Big Ten Network. Yeah, you got it. It's on Peacock. Yeah.
Who wants my login?
So there you go. For you two to watch your Spartans, it's 7 o'clock on Peacock. And for you Gophers and Wolverines fans out there, it's 9 o'clock on Peacock. Got some ASUN action. FGCU hosting Jacksonville. Tickets available, 7 o'clock. FGCU, a 5.5-point favorite. They own Jacksonville. Have absolutely owned them. Going all the way back to Andy Enfield. Andy literally took a blood oath that he was going to beat Jacksonville. There was an incident that happened at the shoot-around before the first ever game that FGCU played Jacksonville in when Andy was the coach. Jacksonville kind of like invaded the shoot-around, and then you're literally no one is allowed in the shoot-around. No one. Arena workers, no one. You only people associated with the team. Jacksonville walked in with like 6 minutes to go in the shoot-around. Andy was not happy. All right. And then there were cones in the hallway and what have you, and there were some pleasant language that was used. And Andy basically called an emergency team meeting and said, we will never lose to these guys. And at the time, Jacksonville had owned FGCU. Andy went 4-0 against Jacksonville.
I love lower to mid-major basketball. Absolutely love it.
Well, and then the other side, Michael Fly, the former FGCU head coach, is now an
5-1.
assistant at Jacksonville.
Yes, he
You don't
is.
think this is a big game to him?
No, it's a huge game. I know Michael really well. It's very emotional. Christian Terrell, who played at FGCU, is a grad assistant with JU because he's from the Jacksonville area, and so he latched onto that program to get his coaching start. So FGCU 5.5-point favorite at home. North Florida's at Stetson. The Hatters are a 7.5-point favorite. I feel good about Stetson tonight. South Florida is a 5.5-point favorite at home against Temple. New coach at South Florida is doing a good job. He's the guy who took Kennesaw State to the tournament last year. So there you go.
Mark, what do you like for the FGCU line? -5.5. What do you think?
I'll take JU in the points.
Really?
Ooh.
A
little Moulton magic.
I think to your point, the Michael Fly factor, I just think I think they're going to play hard.
Well, the guys do know. I mean, the guys, even though he's only been with the program a couple of months, the guys do know what it means to him. I do think they'll play hard. They're not the best shooting team in the world. It's simply going to come down to.
I just think FGCU has a letdown after the big win. It's tough to see a team that's not good because they're not. They're an average team at best to have back-to-back good games. They've not done that this year.
Even with Pat Chambers jumping 1.5 feet in the air?
They're getting healthier, and they're getting a leading scorer back tonight. They're at least there's a good chance of it. So we'll see. Neither team is deep. So it should be a close game. I think the spread's
That's kind of what I'm going for.
Right there. So we'll see. 7:00 Alico Arena, if you want to go.
Remember to wish David a happy new year. If you do make it to the game.
Oh, man.
Preferably with a sign. And if you're going to put his name on it, I don't even know if it has to be David.
Are you allowed to have signs at Alico? I don't even know. I don't know if I've ever seen signs.
I've seen fatheads.
Yeah, that's true.
No, I mean, I would think you would have a sign.
And you're not talking about mine.
No.
Right, no, just because it is a fathead.
And are they back in session? So the students won't even be there tonight, will they?
Well,
can't imagine they're back.
I don't think so. Quite a few of them did show up for the FAU game, though. Had a nice atmosphere. I'm hoping that most everybody who went to the FAU game will come back out, jump back on the wagon, and see what this team can deliver. I said I would like to see it. I'm not predicting that it will happen. Over under 2,500 tonight.
Over slightly.
I'll go under. Miller and Moulton.
The law firm of Michael F. Hornung specializes in criminal defense, DUI, personal injury, nursing home claims,